You have entered the Chronic's rabbit hole. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Kyle, aka Chronic.
And I'm Alana, aka Thumbnail Lady.
And we are so excited because Thumbnail Lady decided to join us today, thanks to the lovely Avery upstairs babysitting for us so we can get her here because we both want to understand Park Jimin's introduction. This is the full, all the way up to 2024 knowledge on him. Apparently this is one of the best videos from the Jimin Videos channel that really explains not just on the oh poor is me side as to the I'm not so talented video that I watched on Jimin, and this is really just everything, his full skill, his whole talent, going all in, and I can't wait to see everything about him.
I'm really excited for this because for this being my first introduction to the Jimin documentary style series of his like coming into being who he is. I'm really excited that I'm getting a full well-rounded video that you guys have directed us to make sure we're getting all sides of Jimin, not just one view of Jimin. So I can't wait to get into this one. Thank you so much for having me.
I want to thank you all for encouraging me via your comments on how much you guys love Alana, aka Thumbnail Lady. So I really had to maneuver some things today. As y'all saw, if you're on our Patreon, I put out a bunch of pictures from the hike we did today. And during that hike, I convinced Avery to help us get Alana here today because I think it would make this video reaction even better, being able to have some thoughts coming from you and being able to kind of bounce back and forth here. So without further ado, this is a long video, as you can see, so thank you all for being here. Grab your drinks. Here we go.
This is an introduction video for Park Jimin, the main dancer and lead vocalist of the biggest and most successful group today, BTS. Real name, Park Jimin. Stage name, Jimin. Born October 13th, 1995. From Busan.
Do we need the subtitles if it is in English?
That's very well said. So we're going to put down the subtitles because it's in English.
Thank you.
See, that's why we have her here. I would have been like, I can't see anything. I don't know what to do.
Stage name, Jimin. Born October 13th, 1995. From Busan, South Korea. Role in the group, lead vocals and the main dancer.
From Busan.
Jimin's dance route starts at the Just Dance Academy in Busan, where he excelled in hip-hop, freestyling, popping, and isolation. He made a local name for himself by joining many street dance battles as well as winning multiple talent competitions. At one point, when Jimin's parents couldn't afford the tuition fee, the school let him take classes for free so they wouldn't lose a talent like him.
Wow.
Smart idea.
Jimin also excelled in school. He was a part of robotics building club, football club.
Oh, he looks like a football player. We call it soccer. Nice. Nice pass.
He was a part of a book club, was excellent at track and a part of billiards club.
Oh, wow.
On top of that, he was a part of the student council from elementary to high school. That's 9 years of switching between class president and class vice president. Jimin also, all throughout his schooling, was on top of his class, achieving perfect scores, especially in...
We are intimidated.
We are intimidated by him. But like in school, like I would have been so intimidated by him.
I love all around people like him.
I admire them, but I run away.
Yeah. What a standard.
And also, all throughout his schooling, was on top of his class, achieving perfect scores, especially in math. He was even called the god of math and would cover for his math teacher. He was also good at and liked science.
128 IQ.
I have a 128.
That's the same as you.
That's hilarious.
Arts and physical education. Because of all of this, Jimin was already quite popular amongst his peers. One of his old classmates has...
Why'd you let go of my hand when I said that?
I'm still mad that you got a higher score than me.
Oh boy. We're competitive, clearly.
Competitive. I'm still mad. How dare you?
Because of all of this, Jimin was already quite popular amongst his peers. One of his old classmates has said that at the high school retreat, girls went crazy after he danced to the song Neurotic by TVXQ, taking off his glasses and even showing off his abs. What's wholesome is that the main vocalist of the group said that he likes Jimin. Jimin was admitted into the Busan High School of Arts as a valedictorian in the modern dance department. Jimin took on various dance styles, such as contemporary dance, jazz, Korean dance, ballet. Jimin was even called the rising star of Busan.
Wow.
What nickname? Scott of Math too?
Look at that muscle tone.
Yeah. Jeez, eh?
Wow, that's impressive.
What's his body fat?
시를 굉장히 잘했다고 들었어요.
그 수석 아니야? 수석?
그래, 부산 예고 수석 입학이야.
수석이잖아.
수석이야. 그 참고로
He put a little hat on.
Wait, they did?
수석이야.
Oh, they did.
Little emoji.
지민이는 이동할 때는 어떻게 해요? 자동차는 어떻게 해요? 물어보면서 이동사를 할 때는 어떤 근육을 굽는단다, 어떻게 된단다 그러면 그 다음날 와서 선생님 저 이동사를 많이 해서 이렇게 근육이 배가 예쁘게 생겼어요 라고 부분까지
He also had the time to train in various
show
forms
me
of
the
martial arts,
results.
such as Taekwondo, in which he has a black belt,
Wow.
Hapkido, and
Wow.
Kendo for 8 years.
He's got a black belt? Wait, was that in all three?
Has a black belt,
Yeah.
Hapkido, and Kendo for 8 years.
Jeez. Okay.
앞으로 내려치기 하루에 1,500번.
Terrifying.
예.
뻥치지 마.
체력 훈련.
그럼 검사하지 왜 여기 있냐?
엄마한테 그랬죠. 엄마 저는 세계 최고의 검투사가 되는 게 꿈이에요.
검투가.
Look at that stance.
He was also the
Whoa.
first and only freshman offered a scholarship
The Jimin Effect.
to study martial arts more extensively abroad in China. Freshman offered a scholarship to study martial arts more extensively abroad in China.
The Flying Angel.
Unknown fact to a lot of BTS fans would be that Jimin, just like RM, also enjoys artwork and visits to art exhibitions and museums. Jimin also knows how to play the piano, is learning how to
Awesome.
play the guitar, loves to read and write poems.
Holy.
Since Jimin was a smart kid,
Just because it brought up the art museum, that's really what you do for me on this, and I think what you do for them is when we're coming to the art museum when we're seeing these videos, you know.
Yeah.
So clearly, it's fun to go to an art museum by yourself, but when
I
you
love
have
going to
someone,
an art museum.
and believe me, when we went to the art museum the first time, even the person guiding us, giving us a tour, could even say, like, Alana, you look at things in a different way, in a different angle than no one has ever done in front of me. So I think that's why it's so awesome that you are here for this one, because of how amazing Jimin is, there's so many things that are just going to blow by here, and we need your expertise.
I didn't realize Jimin had so many, like, he's a kendo master, right? Like, he has so many things that he has achieved and wanted to do,
So diverse in his talents.
and is so diverse in his talents, and yet is so humble in it as well. Because, like, yeah, he made the comment, I can do anything, but, like, he's not bragging by that. He's just, he can
can.
do anything, but he's being fun, like, he's having fun and joking, and he's, like, very chill about that as well.
He's
So
a natural at a lot of
it's a
things.
natural, he's a natural at a lot of these things, and he also has a personality that complements it, and a passion that complements it, but he's also very self-critical, as we've seen and heard in many of these other videos that we've watched, which also drives him to keep doing
Very
better
reflective.
and very reflective. And I think the more reflective you are as an individual, and the more self-critical you become as well, and the higher your standard becomes.
Yep.
So, like, Jimin is very admirable.
He sure is.
and museums. Jimin also knows how to play the piano, is learning how to play the guitar, loves to read and write poems. Since Jimin was a smart kid, his dad wanted Jimin to become a prosecutor. In an interview with Busan Art School magazine, Jimin's dad has also said that he felt like he was losing a genius when Jimin expressed wanting to be a public dancer rather than a pure dancer. He also was worried, because success is not always guaranteed in this type of work. In the same interview, he stated, in middle school, there was a time where Jimin had to write about his future. In his paper, he wrote that he wanted to go to Busan Arts High School and learn dance and use that background and combine it with music to become a singer or a celebrity. His paper was very detailed, and I think this was the start of his dream to become an idol.
He
Jimin has
envisioned
said that
it.
when he expressed wanting to dance and make music, his dad agreed straight away and even took him to every audition. In a recent interview, the
job,
director of the
parents.
Just Dance Academy mentioned, Jimin's father didn't force his children to do things. When Jimin was practicing until 2 or 3 in the morning, he would wait in the car parked outside. When there were events held in clubs, he would always come, even
That's
though
real
other parents
passion.
didn't. In the
That's what my grandpa did for me with things. The amount of times he would wait outside in the car, and everyone deserves to have someone like that.
Of course.
Like this is so cool that even though his father wanted him to be a judge or a prosecutor, and Jimin didn't want to follow the dream that his father had for him.
Yeah.
When Jimin then produced that paper, it wasn't just a paper about what he wanted to do. He literally wrote out a business plan for what he wanted to do and how he was going to do it, and it was it had all the tools. It was a goal that was trackable. It was something that could be achieved and attainable if he followed the goals the way he had written them down in his business plan. And that's what his paper was. So when he gave that to his dad and his dad saw that, he's like, well, you thought it out. That works for me. This isn't a willy-nilly dream. I can see everything you've already achieved. You're a valedictorian. I know you have this drive, and so I'm going to make sure I get you there, and I'm going to do my part to make sure you succeed, and that's admirable as a father.
You can learn from that as parents.
Yeah, you sure can.
Let them grow.
Let them grow, exactly.
Same exclusive one-time interview, the dance director said, "I first met Jimin when he was in his first year of junior high school. I taught popping classes which Jimin's school used to attend for their extracurricular activity. Whether I taught him how to do a wave or popping, he was the only one who would make an extraordinary improvement. That's why I invited him to the Just Dance Academy. I remember him believing in himself, enjoying the process of trying, and always having a smile on his face. High school students would play when school exams were over. However, Jimin would come here saying, I want to practice more street dance since I can't learn it in lessons at Busan High School of Arts. The school's door was open 24 hours. So there were many times where Jimin was practicing on his own, even on Sundays. He was intelligent and was the type of person who was loved by the teachers. When you're with him, the people around him become positive too." Link to this wonderful interview, as well as many others, down in the description box. At the time, Jimin's modern dance teachers were opposed to the idea of Jimin becoming an idol, as they felt that the world of dance would be losing a great artist.
의 반열을 오른다는
That's how good he is.
쉬운 일은 아니잖아요. 부산에서 방시혁 그 기획사 대표가 하는 어떤 그런 오디션에 나간다고 했을 때 지민이한테 지금 이걸 마지막으로 빨리 네가 전공을 정했으면 좋겠다. 가수가 될지 아니면 순수한 무용을 할지 이번이 마지막이 됐으면 좋겠다고 했는데 합격을 했더라고요. 그게 뭐 제가 알기로는 몇천 멤버 오디션 보러 왔는데 한 명이 지민이가 됐다 해서 얘가 무슨 가능성이 있구나, 잠재력이 있구나라고 제가 그때부터 생각하게 됐죠.
Jimin auditioned for Big Hit Entertainment in spring of 2012. After successful auditions, Jimin went to Seoul to train on May 15, 2012. Jimin has had one of the shortest idol training periods ever. After being a trainee under Big Hit for around 6 months, he got a position in the group and joined BTS as the last member and was revealed as a member on January 12, 2013. A lot of trainees were surprised by Jimin's various skills.
현대 무용과 힙합 댄스를 출주하는 애가 들어오게 된다라는 걸 들었을 때, 야, 현대 무용하고 힙합 댄스를 둘 다 출주한다고?
다 가져가야만.
Do you have to take everything?
딱 오자마자 안녕하세요 막 인사를 하고 이랬는데 얼굴이 되게 애기애기하고 또 이렇잖아요. 또 약간 지미가 또 약간 이렇게 지미가 오자마자 막 이제 막 몸을 풀더라고요. 그래서 막 몸 풀다가 갑자기 공중제비를 차는 거예요. 그래서 뭐지? 그래서 와, 이 친구 대단한 친구구만.
그 무엇을 해야 될지를 모르는 게
tumble? The dance move, I'm assuming.
I have no idea what tumble is.
Let us know what tumbling is, because popping, the name itself, when we're watching BTS, we can almost see that dance style of the popping. They do it so much. J-Hope, I see, does a lot of popping too. That's at least what I'm imagining when they say popping.
Absolutely is because that's what I would think.
That's what I'm assuming, right?
We were probably wrong, but that's what I'm assuming.
You're like, oh no.
와, 이 친구 대단한 친구구만.
그 무엇을 해야 될지를 모르는 게 너무 힘들었었던 것 같고요. 4시까지 하고 이제 6시 반쯤에 일어나서
다시 또 연습하고 또 새벽 한 4시쯤 집에 와서 자고 그랬던 거예요?
네.
막 힘들지 않아요?
그때는 안 힘들었었던 것 같아요. 이게
Wasn't tough at the time.
아버지한테 달에 한 번씩 전화하면서 안 될 수도 있다. 근데 실망만 하지 마라. 제가 여기서 떨어져도 뭐 뭘로든 제가 해낼 테니까 너무 실망만 안 하셨으면 좋겠다면서.
Despite all of the obstacles, 6 months later, on 13th of June 2013, Jimin got to debut with BTS as one of the 2 main dancers, and as well as lead vocalist.
고등학교 가고 싶어서 예고 갔고 서울 올라오고 싶어서 오디션 보고 왔고 데뷔하고 싶어서 데뷔했고 1등 하고 싶어서 1등 했고.
와.
Yeah. So I did.
Jimin was
so
an instant star. His
So I
acrobatic
did.
skills drew the public's attention to the rookie group.
There's a Nike slogan saying "Just do it." He's so I did.
Yeah, Jimin's slogan is "So I did."
Right?
No kidding.
Oh God, main dancing time. Oh.
As a rookie, he already ranked amongst other popular idols in various Best Dancer polls.
얼굴은 귀여운데 몸이 상남자예요.
맞아요.
그걸 아는 거죠.
무려 35%의 지분율을 획득했습니다.
기분
하나, 둘, 셋.
Popular with the guys, Jimin. You know it.
At the time,
Before as it transitions to the next part, I can see why Jimin has so many haters as well.
Yeah, and why do you see?
So I get very affected by comments, and then when I see comments that are negative, I hyper focus on them, and it's not the best thing in the world. That's why I don't comment often when I'm on YouTube.
Right.
But I've noticed there have been some comments that have been only a few, but they've been like anti-Jimin in a way. And so now that I'm actually getting to see just how good at everything Jimin is, no wonder he has haters, because you aren't succeeding if you make everyone happy. If you're gonna succeed at everything, you're not gonna make everyone happy about that.
Well, he was 1 out of 1,000 that could do something.
And he was only there for 6 months. And he's a kendo master and a taekwondo master and the other thing that I can't remember master. And he was the only one able to tumble. And he can do hip hop. And he can do modern dance. And he plays the piano. And he plays guitar.
Yes.
And
she's getting the Jimin effect, y'all.
And so it's really, it makes sense to me now as I'm like going through all the comments that I've read in my head. And being like, okay, I get it now. Like, one of the comments literally called it the sect of Jimin. And that was one that really stood out to me. I'm like, why are you using sect? Like, that's like a religious terminology that you would use as like to defame. And
but on the good side, because I'm the one who is attacking the comments, majority
are good.
99.99%
Absolutely.
are actually talking about, that's why we're here, is because of all the good comments saying,
Absolutely.
let's go to this one so you can make sure you see all the different sides of him, not just the sympathy side. Because even when they asked, wasn't that hard? His answer was, no, actually, at the time, it was great.
Wasn't.
And you could see J-Hope and Jungkook right beside him being like, wow, that was a great answer. And I gotta step up my game just from that answer.
Like, they have, and it's crazy because like J-Hope and Jungkook, who were just beside him, they didn't have any sympathy for what he was saying because they agreed with what he was saying, but the only sympathy that you really felt with that was the music that was backtracking his answer. Oh. If they had like an upbeat, like, let's go do it, like Nike commercials kind of music behind him, it wouldn't even sound or feel sympathetic in that kind of a tone of an interview.
Right.
Because he is just saying, no, at the time it wasn't. I was just going to call my dad and tell him I'm going to achieve everything that I do. And I set a goal and I'm going to achieve it. And this is what I'm doing. But having the sympathetic style emotional track behind it kind of sets that emotional tone in like that cinema style. But like, there's overwhelmingly positive comments. I'm just saying that when you're achieving at this level, it's like he's doing phenomenal. He's doing so well, and I can really see how the Jimin effect comes around, how it's going to rub some people the wrong way because he works so hard. He's getting up and working till 4 a.m, and there's going to be people who are like, well, why aren't you sleeping? Right? Because everyone has an opinion on things. So that's all I was saying, and I love it. I think it's all positive, even talking about having the haters, because you have to have those. But yeah.
Jimin was already helping with ideas for the choreography. For example, he was the one who came up with hat dance trick choreography.
Oh my God.
안무가 성공받기 시작한 건지 지민이의 이 백각이와 매트릭스의 나라차기와 위협을 풀고의 모자춤 아닙니까 사실. 그렇죠?
Jimin's greatest strength as a dancer is his ability to merge together his background in various martial arts, his hip-hop roots, as well as his contemporary training. While watching him dance, you can see that he is precise and tends to add a little extra to the choreography.
The thrusties. Oh yeah. The flare. Oh, I love fake blood.
A little bit of Michael Jackson in there.
Yeah. Isolate parts of his body. get lazy at all.
He
Full
prioritizes
extension.
elongated and fuller movements which express
Elongated.
deeper emotions.
Well said. Very true. Oh, wow. Great way to say it. Elongated.
He is the beat.
Yeah.
Oh. What?
Wow.
Is that the Shigeri stuff or whatever? Oh my god. Look at his moves.
He dances to the tips of his fingers.
Dance to the tips of his fingers. Wow, I love the way that's danced. Oh, why did,
And basically
that's such a
optimizes his
trademark.
movements with sliding and gliding over the stage. He is also a master of optimizing his performances. Starting from masterful spinning whenever he needs to travel a short distance, these movements help to make the stage more colorful and exciting.
He does that spin a lot.
Jimin
I
also
love
has the
this.
ability to travel across the stage at great speeds. When Jimin's part ends, he quickly moves into his new position, which is often further away, all while never missing a beat and holding a stable note.
Wow. They get him making the moves, most movement. That stamina, I bet.
Insane control.
Because of Jimin's modern dance background,
He has insane
We just
control.
saw probably a few dozen dance moves that look like so trademark. I know they all can kind of do that style, but that really just showed why he might be one of the best dancers in the world. And the fact that they
Absolutely.
have him, it's just like that's another reason to really love him, because you know how peak he could have been on his own in a specific thing, where now we get to experience him in a way that brings him out with like his brothers too, and where I think he's being shown in a way that we like him more. And I know a lot of dancers are like, I would have loved him if he went just the dance route too.
Absolutely.
I think we're lucky that he picked this route to show all the sides of it now.
We're absolutely lucky that he picked this route, because one of the things that they mentioned in here is he's able to combine his skills with his martial arts into his dance. So he's literally creating new dance moves by adding that martial
That's
arts
the
flair to
trademark.
all of it. And those are a lot of those trademarks. So he's able to move and control his whole body at such an extreme amount. Like they're saying, he's dancing even with his fingertips. If he's moving his hand, he's actually
So
like grabbing
well
a tiny string and he's pulling it into himself and grabbing those little bits of energy that are all around
Well
him to
said,
dance
yeah.
through it. And so it's and his spinning like that, it is but very much like a martial art, going with the flow of what's happening and allowing your body to
Little
move
cat
with
spin.
you. Little cat spin. So it's like seeing him in this way, like it's mind-blowing, because when you just see Jimin as just the main singer and main dancer of a 7-person pop group, you're kind of like, okay, cool, yay, this is great. Like, not to diminish anything or anything like that, but when you don't have this insane backstory of like how much focus, how much drive, staying up till 4 a.m.
No kidding.
It's like I didn't expect it, and like
Makes you appreciate him even more.
it does. It gives me a whole new appreciation for Jimin and what he is able to achieve by the choices that he's made. Not even on like a sympathy standpoint. Like, this is a man who is extremely driven, extremely powerful in his own right, and he is able to control himself at such an extreme that is like extremely admirable.
Yeah.
Every time you pause a video, you will be greeted with his beautiful dance lines and
got
cool,
that right.
composed facial expressions.
Every time. Well said.
Extremely photogenic because of the control.
Also, you may or
butterfly
may not
there.
have noticed Jimin's trained ballerino stance.
Very subtle. I love
Jimin
this
is
song.
also known for his work ethics and being a perfectionist.
아 그쵸. 한 번은 더 해보면 좋을 것 같아요.
I think we should do it again. Oh wow. What a gorgeous face.
더 성장하는 제가 되도록 노력하겠습니다.
이렇게 항상 부족함을 느끼는 이 마음. 아, 나는 아직 멀었다.
동생이 돼서 잘 따라가겠습니다. 한 정도 더 해봐야 되지 않겠나?
여기 가자.
지금?
오늘은 끝.
안 돼, 한 번 더 하자.
한 번 더 할래? 마이크? 어떻게 할래? 이어서
이게 어때요?
이거 괜찮다.
그쵸? 앞에가 문제네요. 앞에 뭐 하지?
아까 이거 한번 해봐봐.
나 세미 프리. 아, free. free.
괜찮은데?
Let's go.
Jimin is serious about his craft, and often behind the scenes you can see him helping to improve the choreography, giving his ideas and helping other members learn the choreo.
진영도 이거 같이 맞춰주면 좋을 것 같은데.
이거 진짜 빡세네.
내가 이때 형 호석이 이때 내가 좀 많이 나가죠.
약간?
그렇죠. 야 무릎 조심해. 점프인데 몸은 뒤에 있는데요.
Just think about your legs.
왜 반대로? 그렇죠. 앞뒤.
Doing it backwards. This.
What a teacher. It's awkward. He's like, I'll make it awkward.
빨라. 가운데가 좀 빨라. 힙할 때 힙 그것만 듣고 보면은
그렇지.
끝나는 게 딱 맞으면 좀 맞거든.
박자만 생각해줘도
너들아 가때 힙.
Always on beat.
아래.
I wish I could move like him.
남자를 정신 안 차리라.
Pull yourself together now.
저번에서 안 보이려고 막.
이걸로 확실히 짚고 가는데 뒤꿈치 가고 짚이 안 되고 앞꿈치로만 해요.
Front half of your feet to move faster.
Oh, it's on the ball.
Join the crowd, 이렇게.
되게 깜깜할 것 같은데.
진짜 어떡하지? 차라리 저를 퍼드팀에 넣어. 정리 알아서 다 해줄게요.
Even though he is a perfectionist, contrary to a lot of introduction videos, Jimin actually doesn't mind his mistakes and they don't linger in his mind for long. Not wanting only that to be broadcasted about him is only understandable.
걱정하실 것 같은데 걱정해서 좀 더 민망했어요. 아니 그러니까 너무 걱정하세요. 저 딴 생각도 안 하고 쓸데없는 생각도 안 하니까 그런 생각 안 하셔도 돼요. 저도 뭐
I'm growing up, you know. Good job, Jimin.
커가고 있지 않습니까, 여러분? 그러니까 너무 걱정하지 마시고.
Also worth mentioning is
like
that
this guy just said here, I think that's why a lot of the ARMY and just Jimin fans were like letting us know he wasn't even that upset when he screwed up. Like, yeah, he was upset at the time, but like he can move on a lot quicker. It's not all just woe to me. And I think that was the message you were getting across, and we're already getting that message so quickly into this.
He definitely has a really fast comeback rate. So like I myself, I don't have a fast comeback rate. It takes me a little bit to come back from a failure. I have to have a cool down moment of silence. So it's nice to know that he's able to like move on from it and be like, okay, this is just a moment that now I need to figure out what I did wrong. I can learn from that because maybe there's a beat that's off. Maybe I didn't listen for the cheap to come in at that song moment.
Yep.
And now I know what this thing is and I can line it up so that it's not going to happen again. So he is really good at learning from it, moving on from it, and like, again, great personality. Like, yeah, it'll upset you in the moment, but it's how you come back from it that matters. And he's coming back fast and even able to be like, hey, look, I can do this. So like, I get it. I get why the Jimin effect is there and why people have the Jimin effect and why it's talked about in that way. I didn't get it before because I'm like, okay, but like why? And now I see why people
why he can be your bias.
that's a perfect way to put it. Yes, why he can be your bias.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
No kidding.
저도 뭐 커가고 있지 않습니까, 여러분?
Growing up, you know?
그러니까 너무 걱정하지 마시고.
Also worth mentioning is that Jimin suffers from chronic neck and back pain, as seen in one of the BTS documentaries. He also has chronic pain in his knee that flares up once in a while, which is hard to believe because Jimin does a great job as a main dancer and lead vocal, flipping, jumping, carrying the hard choreo all while singing. With his talent, standing out and being the center of attention comes naturally to Jimin. Throughout his career, he has unintentionally made several killing parts in BTS songs and has had popular stages, such as 2014 iconic Mama stage, 2015 the one with the orange hair, the 333 guy, the 424 guy. There is no surprise why a lot of critics anticipate his solo stages at award ceremonies every year. More on Jimin's beginnings and more detailed information about his dance you can find in these videos.
Good job.
Jimin is known for his beautiful honey-smooth vocals and his ability to make you feel every emotion and feeling that he is trying to convey, as well as his ability to sing high notes and falsettos effortlessly.
It's always so light on the whole. Oh! They do this? This one was so good.
뭐 태영이나 정국이가 보컬 레슨을
What I don't know if y'all heard over it, but the way that he just gently grabs it, and you can see there's like a big gap between where he's not like full grip, it's just lightly and it's so effortless, and like it's just like ethereal, even how he's grabbing the mic.
Well, it's so interesting because singing is also a sport in of itself because of the muscle control that you need while you're singing. So like what he's doing with that is he's all like, from what I'm seeing, is he's keeping his body so loose and fluid,
Like a sword grab almost.
yeah, but right, and he's keeping it's so loose and fluid while he's there, so that when he is on stage, he's, even though it's still controlled, he's
ready to
still
move.
able to move, and he's not getting tensed up by holding his muscles
Staying
in a
agile.
tense. He's staying agile. He's doing a light grab instead of a rough grab. So it's really cool to see how he takes care of himself even in the off hours.
Absolutely, yeah.
Right? So
His
like
maintenance for
his
his
maintenance
body and
for
his
his
mind.
body and his mind and everything is top notch, and I think there's a lot that you can take from him even on like how he lives his life day to day on like a mental health side of things. Because for him to have that fast of a recovery on a mistake, and then also to see how he carries himself, he's got something that's really regenerative for him.
Yeah, for sure.
뭐 태영이나 정국이가 보컬 레슨을 받을 때 저 들어가서 구경해도 돼요 하면서 들어가서 참관을 하거나 그때 들었던 거를 혼자 새벽에 나와서 연습하고 있었던 거예요.
Because Jimin didn't get any vocal lessons while he was a trainee and practiced on his own. His first real voice practice was for B-side track in their debut album. Even in the very beginning, when he had little to none vocal training, he was assigned to sing most of the high notes and he did it flawlessly.
week.
Yeah.
Ah.
There's no audio.
So now we know. We just got all scared. We thought something was wrong with our mics and all that, but this happens in the video. Luckily, it comes right back. So we're gonna go through.
Randomly muted.
I'm not as good as Jimin.
Me either. I'm not even gonna try.
There you go.
As much as we love his high vocal tone, we also love his lower register and growls.
Yes. I definitely like this tone from him.
Yes, wow.
Yeah. The grit. Sounds like a different person. Oh, the blindfolded one. Oh, there's the orange hair Jimin. Yeah, he stands out here.
Memorable mention to this Jimin, who has to sing with a smooth and stable voice after a full-on choreo.
Oh, that's so pure. What an angel.
And then we can keep the fire alive.
Kim Youngdae, who is a music critic and a member of Korean Music Awards Committee, has said that when BTS is regarded as a sound, Jimin's voice is one of the most important auditory elements that make up the fingerprint and impression of the sound.
항상 키의 상승에 가장 결정적인 역할을 사실 지민 씨의 그런 음역이 아니면 저희 노래가 살지 않을 거예요.
And you know what? I'm actually going to say this too, because that's totally true. And the band here, Nightwish, because of the vocal range of Taria, it made that band be able to go to so many different levels of their music. And when you get someone with the talent like a Jimin coming in, it really does allow the band to go to any planet they want with their music because of his range.
Does. Absolutely, because with Nightwish wasn't even going to sound the way Nightwish sounds until Taria came, and then all of a sudden they had to make the band more than what it had originally been planned out to.
They went from acoustic to power metal.
Literally acoustic to power metal to then suit her voice and her vocal range, because they had to be as loud as what she could go high, so it worked out that way.
Yeah.
So, like, it is really cool that the band members also recognize Jimin's value within the band.
Yeah.
I mean, within the group, sorry.
Of course.
Because if it really shows, like, that they really truly are brothers in that sense, like, growing up together, living together, they've been in the dorms together, training together. So how they recognize each other's talents is really cool to also see within this documentary series that we've been watching from all the members.
Definitely.
지민이 곡도 너무 좋아서 나도 멋진 곡 만들고 싶다는 생각이 많이 들더라고요.
우리 같은 경우도 그런 목소리 톤을 가지고 있는 가수가 잘 없거든요. 네, 그 점에서 굉장히 매력이 있다고 생각을 해요.
제가 생각할 때 이번 매브 오브 더 소울 7이 만약에 게임이라고 가정을 한다면 슈퍼 하드 캐리라는 건 지민의 목소리라고 생각을 합니다. 이번 앨범 속에 필터라는 노래와 프렌드라는 노래의 지민의 목소리는 시작부터 듣는 사람을 완벽하게 집중하게 시켜주는 힘이 실려 있을 생각이 들어서이기도 합니다. 혹은 유명 아티스트의 음악에 피처링을 했을 때도 굉장한 작품이 나올 수 있는 그런 아티스트가 또 지민이라는 생각이 들었기 때문입니다. 이렇게 유명해지고 그런 이제 유니크한 보이스를 갖고 있는 만큼 세계 시장에서 러브콜을 받을 가능성이 굉장히 많다. 저는 이렇게도 생각을 하고 있습니다. 충분히 가능성이 있는 얘기예요.
킬링 파트라고 생각을 하는데 이거를 지민 씨가 불러서 저는 훨씬 더 이게 올라갔다고 생각해요. 그 부분이 이제 분위기가. 왜냐면은 지민 씨 음색이 예술이잖아.
그쵸. 잘 어울리고요. 그 킬링 파트가 진짜 이 대중 상업 음악의 아주 꽃이에요, 사실.
그러니까 지민의 보이스가 워낙에 유니크하고 유니섹스한 보이스잖아요. 정말.
Yeah. Can I say he makes this whole song? His voice, I think, is so incredible. He's got that high Michael Jackson sound and just incredible. Like, he just has that light lyric tenor is what we call it. Just super. It's almost like this frosting on top of the layers of a layer cake, and it's just stunning. It's just a really unique voice. I've been teaching voice for almost 30 years, and it's pretty rare to have those guys with these beautifully light voices.
I think that's really good singing. I think it's super healthy singing. It's repeatable. Everything I've heard from him is great. I stand this guy now.
These vocal coaches just being flabbergasted.
Holy shit. He's like the Korean version of Michael fucking Jackson. Listen to those clear vocals.
I love her. Oh my god.
Oh.
I'm good to go. I'm diamond. You know I glow.
He's so good.
저는 BTS 중에서도 그 지민 친구가 노래의 음색도 특별한 부분이 있고 가사를 어떻게 불렀을 때 대중들이 공감을 할 수 있는지에 대한 포인트를 굉장히 잘 알고 있는 그 센스가 조금 남다른 친구라고 생각이 들고 카메라를 보는 시선이나 춤이나 노래에 있어서도 어떤 호흡 조절을 할 때 좀 대중들이 봤을 때 열광하는 포인트를 좀 잘 알고 있지 않나 그런
Very true. He's doing the hardest part of the dance while doing the highest notes.
As of now, these are Jimin's
Jimin's
official
part's the
music
hard part to
credits by
cover.
Korea Music Copyright Association. Outside of this association,
Wait, what was
it's
that
by
list for?
Korea Music
Songwriting
Copyright
credits. Good
Association.
stuff.
Outside of this
Wow.
association, BMI has also credited Jimin as a songwriter and a composer of Dream Glow, the song that was actually planned to be a Jimin solo song. But there are also a lot of instances where Jimin isn't officially credited, like for the melody of Blood, Sweat and Tears.
We still haven't heard that song yet.
지민이는 목소리가 되게 좋아요. 맞아요. 매력적이죠. 지민이는 멜로디 좋습니다. 그러니까 핏땀에서 그 멜로디 짠 거. 그렇죠. 좋아요.
Oh, he made the melody in
Outside of official credits, Jimin's actual first song that he wrote was Christmas Day. The original song is Mistletoe by Justin Bieber. Jimin wrote new Korean lyrics and recorded the new Korean version together as a duet with JK.
He sings the Justin Bieber lyrical style very well.
He does.
Under BTS named Jimin together with
And I think that's a lot of people like to bash Justin Bieber. I think even Jimin giving him using him as something to cover gives him a lot of credit.
It does. I've never listened to Justin Bieber actually, other than when he first came out with like Baby and a
Young Bieber.
Right? Young Bieber and Radio Bieber is the only Bieber I've listened to. So it's really cool that was a correlation that was made with Jimin and rewriting his music in particular as a Canadian. So I recognize those things.
Yeah, because I think people like this are so easy to move by if you're not into like the pop music industry and all that. But then when you see how talented they are, that's why I was just using Justin Bieber as the contrast, because a lot of us didn't even get into him because we thought maybe we were too above it. Where
it was cool to hate on him, like it's cool to hate on Nickelback.
And like, because like you said, if you don't have haters, then you're not
succeeding.
So we were part of the hate, and that's why to become haters, to become lovers, it's a really good experience too.
That's a romance book story right there.
Just gonna pause a second and let the cat in. The cat got in, but Peppy went so fast he didn't get to see him this time. I'm sorry.
Under BTS name Jimin together with JK also collaborated with singer Love in a song.
I was muted again.
Oh no. Hopefully it comes back quick. Let us know if it muted always on your side.
Jimin
too.
and JK have also covered Charlie Puth's We Don't Talk Anymore.
I know this one.
Really?
I know this song. I love this song.
Cool. Where did you think you heard it before?
I know the original, like not the BTS version, but I know the original.
Good to know.
And I love the original.
Cool.
We don't talk anymore. We don't talk anymore.
On the album B, where all of the BTS members were included in the production, Jimin took on the role of music project manager.
wow. 제가 지금 PM으로서 할 수 있는 일이 멤버들이 어떻게 작업을 하고 싶은지, 어떤 내용을 하고 싶은지, 몇 곡을 하고 싶은지, 어떤 스타일의 곡을 하고 싶은지, 구성은 어떻게 하고 싶은지, 어떤 멤버가 잘 어울릴 것 같은지, 막 이런 내용들을 정리해서 회사랑 이렇게 커뮤니케이션을 하면 될 것 같아요.
So
I do also want to talk.
RM's the leader, and Jimin's the negotiator.
Absolutely, he's a perfect negotiator.
And that's actually the role you play a lot of the time, as the negotiator. So I can often see why.
It's a correct IQ for it, because commonly that IQ helps you be a judge. That's one of the jobs they suggest you to do, and that's kind of delegating things and all that, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That was one of the jobs I was actually suggested when I took a job placement based on like an IQ job placement test. But yeah, that's But yeah, I can really see that, how he's the negotiator, able to like really talk with all the different members, see what they want to do, and then also then connect with RM and Bang PD with Big Hit to then be able to like find all the correct things that they want to do. So that's also why they're so versatile so correctly, because they have Jimin being perfect like, okay. Roles. Yeah, the perfect roles are being played by everyone here, because Jimin's then able to be like, okay, I know that RM, who's the leader, really wants to have the rap and that and everything else, but I also want to do this with the contemporary. Suga wants to do this with his rap style, which is even more different. He can juggle everyone's
needs and wants.
Exactly, the best to juggle, and then having that, he has such a group behind him, as well as not being like the head. He's able to. That's a really good job for him. Very well done.
Yeah.
Talk about Jimin's solo songs under BTS, and the power that Jimin's voice and pen game can do. Keep in mind the impact and achievements I'm about to mention don't even scratch the surface. Under the group's name, Jimin's first solo song, Lie, in which Jimin was credited as a songwriter and a composer, at the time was the only solo song from Wing's album to rank on Kigeo chart. It was highest ranking solo song on Melon Music chart. It was also the only solo song and B-side that charted Spotify Global Viral 50. Also, while Blood, Sweat and Tears ranked #1 on World Digital Song Sales chart, Lie ranked #3 and became the best-selling solo song in Wing's album.
That's a must listen to.
Jimin's second solo song under BTS was Serendipity, which was released in 2 parts, intro and full. This song, while also being a successful solo song, has had the wonderful ability to calm crying babies.
Oh my god, we need to do this!
Filter was Jimin's third solo song.
That's so adorable. That's an angel's voice. That's Witness.
Oh my god.
And that's also a mom's want for the crying to stop. We have a very loud crying baby, so it's,
we've been through 4 bottles of colic water.
Yeah. So
we just need a Jimin.
We
not
just need a
colic
Jimin
water.
on
We just
demand.
Need a Jimin on demand. Come sing to my baby.
That's what Spotify's for. Here we go.
Not good enough.
Song under BTS name, as stated by RM. Even though there are no credits, Jimin did participate in the song's writing. Right now, Filter is breaking records as the fastest Korean B-side and Korean solo song to reach certain streaming numbers on Spotify. Filter also was featured in Spotify's Rap Top K-pop Tracks playlist for the 3rd year in a row. Filter is also the first BTS solo song to be nominated for the Song of the Year at the Gaon Music Awards. From the same album as Filter, the song Friends was a unit song Jimin sang with V of BTS. This song was written, composed, and produced by Jimin as it was meant to be a solo song first. With a touch of Jimin's magical hands, this was the only song produced by a BTS member to be nominated for Song of the Year at Gaon Awards. This made Jimin the only BTS member to have 2 songs nominated for this award in 2020. With this song, Jimin was the first individual Korean idol to be credited for a Korean OST in a global Hollywood movie, as the song Friends was chosen as one of the OSTs in the Marvel movie Eternals. And the song that he produced and all of his solo songs are in the Rolling Stone list of the 100 best BTS songs. Promise Stone list of Eternals. And the song that he produced and all of his solo songs are in the Rolling Stone list of the 100 best BTS songs.
Okay, so he's got 4 of them in there.
Wow.
Promise was the first gift from Jimin to the fans. A surprise drop uploaded on SoundCloud broke the first 24-hour release record with 8.5 million streams, breaking at the time Drake's 24-hour record. As of right now, Promise is in the Guinness World Record book as the most streamed song in SoundCloud history, and in the first 24 hours. Christmas Love was another gift for the fans, released on SoundCloud and YouTube. This song holds the record for the most streamed Korean solo song audio in the first 24 hours since its release on YouTube with 9.6 million streams. The Korean media ate this right up, because right after its release it was already being featured as a background sound in news and a lot of shows. In 2022 we officially got soloist Jimin with a song under his own name, in collaboration with his best friend Ha Sun-woon. They sang the main OST With You for K-drama Our Blues. With You broke the record for the fastest song in history to reach number 1 in 100 countries on iTunes. Jimin did it in only 4 hours, breaking the previous record held by Dynamite. With You was also nominated in 3 major Korean award shows in the Best OST category. It was also nominated for Song of the Year at the 2022 Mama Awards. With You is the 10th most streamed K-pop song globally on Spotify, and the 2nd on Spotify South Korea. This made Jimin the 7th most streamed K-pop male solo artist globally, with only 1 song and with the shortest streaming period.
와우. 감성적이긴 한 것 같아. 제 주변에 다정한 사람이 있어요. 지민이라는 친구가 진짜 다정한데 보면서 좀 배워요. 막 배우게 되더라고요.
Right before Jimin's official solo debut in 2023, we got his second collaboration, this time with the K-pop group's Big Bang member Taeyong. The song Vibe was highly anticipated. Fans and the general public in Korea were talking about it, so even before it came out, it managed.
I believe Taeyong was the one that they all looked up to at the very beginning in Rise to Bangtan.
Absolutely, and specifically Jimin too was the one.
Specifically Jimin.
And probably the whole band too.
So Jimin got to he got to have that bucket list goal that he had at the beginning of Rise to Bangtan, where he wanted to be able to perform with Taeyong from Big Bang.
Yeah.
So that he would, and he did it, he achieved it.
He
and so like he said,
did.
he's like, Nike says, just do it, and Jimin says, I did it.
No kidding.
So
and Taeyong, he was even saying like Jimin works so hard, and he was everything that Jimin is as a person. Taeyong can actually tell from even in the short times they've seen each other and collaborating.
So Jimin's idol became Jimin's admirer.
Yeah, exactly.
That's so impressive.
That's what you want.
So cool. That's what everyone wants. They want their idol to admire them, and Jimin achieved that, and that's amazing. That's so cool. I got fingies. I got excited hands. Got fingies.
Managed to have the highest debut on the Billboard Hot Trending Songs daily and weekly chart, Jimin also participated in co-composing this song, which gave the song that much more of a good look. Vibe debuted on the Billboard Hot 100 at 76. This was Jimin's and Taeyong's first time debuting on this chart under their own names.
Nice.
This was also Jimin's first time debuting on this chart as a composer. Vibe was also the highest debut on Melon Daily chart by a BTS member since the chart reform.
그래서 진짜 바이브라는 그 테마와 너무 잘 맞게 어떻게 보면은 저랑 굉장히 비슷한 생각들을 하고 또 굉장히 비슷한 결이 많다라는 걸 제가 이렇게 느낀 것 같아요. 저보다도 훨씬 더 열정적이고 그리고 그 열정을 보면서 저도 자극을 너무 많이 받았고요. 그래서 이번 작업을 같이 하면서 제가 사실 배운 게 너무 많습니다. 오랜만에 이런 걸 본 것 같아서 너무 좋았던 것 같아요.
I love seeing Drive 2. Absolutely.
네, BTS가 지난 연도 단체 활동 중단을 선언한 이후로 K-팝 시장에 약간 주춤하는 것 같은 그러한 느낌이 들고 있습니다. 이번에 BTS 출신 지민의 솔로 활동으로도 K-팝의 인기 명맥이 유지가 될 것 같습니까?
Oh, it will be sustained.
Oh, absolutely.
지난까지 이제 BTS의 활동이 주춤하다. 그리고 또 K-팝은 어떻게 될 것인가. 이런 우려 목소리가 좀 높아지고 있죠.
What's gonna happen to K-pop?
그 미소년의 그룹으로 평생 남을 수가 있는 건 아니기 때문에 그렇죠. 만약에 이번 솔로 발표를 하는 지민이 큰 성공을 거두게 된다면 아마 지민 개인의 영예를 넘어서서 K-팝의 새로운 모델 가능성에 대한 평가도 될 것 같아서 다시 한번 K-팝을 주목하게 되는 그런 계기가 되지 않을까 싶습니다.
At the end of March 2020.
Interesting.
Right?
Oh. So, like, K-pop is... I love, and it's... I can't say I love. I take that back. It's interesting how the Korean pop music, K-pop music industry is so... business-like and how it's really is like
it's how it's influencing.
It's how it's influencing.
Absolutely.
And so it's really interesting even how they were saying like we don't know how the market will withhold. We'll have to see. They can't stay a good-looking boy band forever, which I disagree. I think they can.
Oh yeah.
And I mean there's something men always get better with age. I mean, that's just
look at Psy.
Look at Psy, right? Like he brought the dad bod. He's got things going on. He brought the dad bod to Canada, and then everyone's like, "Oh yeah, Psy!" Right? So
but it also shows the power of them taking their stop because of what happened to happen with the military there. But for that even to have that big of a wave on an industry that is that big, with all those record labels,
it does be like, well, what's going to it shows their effect, like what's going to happen. And then at the same time I was also thinking about this, and like what's crazy is as they're talking about, well, they've taken a break, their things have slowed down, are the fans going to withhold their break? And what's going to happen to K-pop is during this time especially, because the only thing we've really heard coming from the Korean music is BTS. And since BTS is not making music right now, and they haven't been making music for about a year or?
Yeah, a little bit.
A year or two?
Yeah.
And so during that time, there hasn't actually been anything new. And there's, like we just found out, there's over 4,000 music labels in South Korea. But we haven't heard any of it coming over here other than BTS because it's not hitting into our markets. So that
except for Rosé now.
Except for Rosé.
Who does with Bruno Mars? Appetite.
Oh, Appetite. Yeah. So like that one. But other than that one, then no, there's really nothing breaking into our market in that way. So like what she has is a very valid question about what's going to be happening and how they're going to make sure that their music industry is still influencing correctly on a global standpoint.
The ripple effect as we see in the
picture. We see.
23 we also got the long-awaited Jimin solo EP Face, where Jimin was heavily involved in the production and of course the overall vision. Jimin was credited as a writer on 5 of the 6 tracks and the hidden track. He also had guitar and keyboard credits on 2 songs. And just like any other Jimin music, this album performed extremely well. The pre-release single Set Me Free Part 2 was the fastest solo song to reach 100 number ones on iTunes worldwide. It also set the record as the biggest 2023 solo song debut by a K-pop act on Melon. It also had the highest debut for a Korean solo song on Spotify Global as well as US, UK, and Korean in history. After 10 years, this was also the highest debut song by a K soloist on the UK Big Top 40 chart. This song also had a major success in Japan as Jimin became the first Korean soloist to reach #1 on both weekly and daily Oricon singles chart. No other Korean soloist has achieved this since this chart was first established in 1968. Set Me Free also debuted at number 30 on Billboard's Hot 100 chart. He joined Psy as the only Korean soloist to chart a solo song within the top 30. Set Me Free also debuted number 5 and number 8 on Billboard's Global excluding US chart and Global 200 chart. Set Me Free also debuted number 1 on Digital Song Sales chart with the biggest debut sales week of 2023. After Set Me Free, finally the main track.
Did you see that? Watch.
The biggest debut sales week of 2023. After Set Me Free, finally the main track Like Crazy was released. This song broke the record for the biggest debut for a solo song by a K-pop act in Spotify global history. It was also the highest charting song by a K-pop soloist in Spotify US history. Like Crazy also entered the top 5 Spotify US chart.
Let us know if we should do a Jimin solo song, and maybe we should make a poll for all these great songs that are coming up here.
Yeah, there's too many to just pick one because then you just want us to do them all. We already know that, but we need to pick one to start.
This Like Crazy is it's really hitting my heart as one maybe to start with. It's like announcing itself to me as a starting point.
It is.
The first and only K-pop soloist in the chart's history to do this. Jimin was also the only Korean soloist in history with 2 entries debuting inside the top 10 of the UK Big Top 40, both at 4th place. Jimin also made history when he was the first Korean soloist and second Asian soloist to chart number 1 on Spotify's global song chart. He joined groups BTS and Blackpink as the only Koreans to do it. Jimin also made history when Like Crazy debuted on the Billboard Hot 100 chart at number 1. He was the very first Asian soloist to debut straight at number 1. Like Crazy also debuted number 2 on Billboard's Global 200 chart. Overall, all of the album songs debuted on Spotify Global. Jimin was the first K-pop soloist to ever chart multiple songs in the top 10 of Spotify Global daily chart simultaneously. All of the album songs also debuted on the Billboard 200 chart. Rolling Stone, Billboard, and Consequence also named Like Crazy as one of the best songs released in 2023 so far. Face by Jimin earned the biggest sales debut for a Korean album by a soloist in Japan's history on the weekly album chart with 225,000 copies sold. Jimin's album also had the biggest debut by a K-pop act on the Spotify global charts in 2023. With Face album, Jimin also became the first solo artist to reach 1 million first-day album sales on Hanteo chart because of the platform trying to manipulate Jimin's sales. He is actually the first artist to reach 1 million first-day sales 3 times in the first...
Wait, the platform, so the algorithm was manipulating it?
I think them themselves, the people behind the platform, but even right now, hearing all these things coming in, it's not like, okay, on to the next thing we get. He's made a bunch of awards and like set a bunch of standards and records, but it's like, it doesn't become insignificant every single one you hear next, but there's so many of them, you then can see that these people almost want to stop him from winning and or make different categories.
Jealousy.
It's just straight jealousy, because it's like, I wish I could have all these trophies and awards too.
And what
if
it
your
is
in there.
To me, a lot of it is that participation trophy award type mentality that we have.
Yeah.
Because like back in the past, you could have one person who dominated everything, and then that person was like the superhero, and that's why we have Marvel and everything like that.
Of course. Even
And
in sports.
And a lot of people idolize that. Yeah, like in sports, you know, you have like your Messi, your Jordans, right? You have like your Pelés and things like that you like idolize over the years. But then now that we've come into this, well, everyone needs a chance to be at their greatest point. Now you're starting to get these manipulating numbers or trying to change things or
snowflakes.
Removing the award in its entirety, because if he's going to win it every time, then no one's allowed to have it.
Yeah, there's a lot of Jim in here.
So
that's all we can see.
And so that just shows like just how powerful he is, and even his teachers and everyone knew that with his that he was going to have that same that same presence, and they really wanted him into the modern dance global modern dance era.
Yep.
But I don't think he would have got the same fame that he has on a global presence if he had done that, because the fame that he's received as a as an idol has amassed the entire world.
I agree.
Billions know him.
He's global because
He's
of it.
global because of it. Whereas if he had stayed in modern dance, that is such a niche that doesn't necessarily get hit out at such a global stage. So he's doing phenomenally, absolutely phenomenally.
And what it says here, they fixed Jimin's numbers to 1 million after the fans' uproar, even though at first they said that their chart was fine and there was no bug. They made charts unable to view at one point. Jimin should already be at 2 million seller on his first day, so that's a 1 million drop. That's insane.
Because they didn't want to show just how crazy it was, because even it boggled their own minds.
Yeah.
Release day. Congrats, King. After this, Hybe's 2023 first quarter operating profit increased by 41.5% to 52.5 billion won. Jimin was highlighted as one of the biggest contributors. Face by Jimin was also the best-selling album by soloist in history on Circle album chart with 1.35 million sales. Jimin became the fastest million-seller act as a soloist. Jimin also got the Kamka album certification on the Circle chart for selling million and platinum albums. Face also debuted number 2 on the Billboard 200 chart with 164,000 units sold. This is the biggest debut and highest charting album by a Korean soloist in the chart's history. Jimin also received the Melon Hall of Fame Millions album plaque by having almost 3 million streams in the first 24 hours on Melon. Jimin is also the first and only Korean soloist to have 4 solo songs with over 500k units sold in the US. All of these songs are now eligible for gold certification. Jimin is also always in the top 10 of Spotify Daily South Korea chart with multiple songs, which is really amazing because Koreans tend to only love girl groups. And now Jimin. Jimin is the first K soloist in history to reach number 1 on the Billboard Artist 100 chart. He is also the K soloist to spend the longest on Spotify's Daily Top Artists global chart. Jimin also broke the record for the biggest streaming year by a K-pop soloist in Spotify history with 1 billion streams. He did it only in 6 months. Jimin is the fastest K-pop soloist to surpass 1.6 billion streams on Spotify purely with his solo credits, a new record in the Guinness World Record book. With his solo songs under the BTS name, he already has 2.8 billion streams under his belt. And right now, Face is already the most streamed album by a Korean artist. To know more about Jimin's ideas and theory behind Face, you can watch this video and Jimin's new docu-series on this topic. After the great success of his solo album, Jimin was chosen by Universal Studios as one of the artists featured on a soundtrack for the movie Fast and Furious 10. He was a part of the main Ost Angel Part 1. Which makes him the only Korean soloist to have 2 Osts featured in Hollywood movie. This song debuted number 65 on the Billboard 100 chart, which now makes Jimin the fastest Asian artist to have 4 songs on this chart, only in 4 months. Jimin also set the record as the first and only Korean soloist to have 2 songs chart multiple weeks on the Billboard Hot 100 chart in the last decade. He also had the most entries by a Korean soloist on the UK single and download charts. Just think about it, Jimin is surpassing other soloists and groups in Korea and internationally without the industry's help. Now how far would he succeed with the help of radio, playlisting, and good without the industry's help? Now how far...
No radio, no heavy playlisting, no YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify ads, only 9 days of active promo, and all the deleted stuff from
Or would he succeed with the help of radio?
More deleted stuff, forced hate train from K-pop fans and every BTS solo fan like you're referring to. Album not shipped on time, removed from iTunes. Like, look at all that.
Speaking of like ARMY and BTS fans that are pushing things just by word of mouth, I mentioned that song that I thought that I'm like, I've heard this song, I know this song. It is that song that I know, and it's because Ashley would play it at work.
Nice. So it probably was
It is that song,
yeah.
and it is that version
There
that
you
I've
go.
heard because Ashley would play it at work when we'd be closing together. So that's where I know that song from, because it's Ashley again.
That's why he's in your soul already.
That's why he's already there, because
Thanks, Ashley.
Thanks, Ashley.
We all know Ashley now.
Ashley's famous.
Playlisting and good promo. Not to mention the shady tactics that YouTube, Spotify, Billboard, and Korean charts pull to slow him down. It's definitely really valuable for other artists to see Jimin succeeding as an Asian artist in the Western music market without selling his soul to the industry. Just be relevant only on payola. I'm a singer, but I'm also a listener, and I receive positive energy and comfort from music. Just like other artists, music has affected how I think and given me strength. I hope people can feel what I feel and resonate with my music. That's what drives me to keep making music.
그리고 사실 뭐 노래나 앨범 만들 때 가장 좋은 게 뭐냐고 하면은 즐거운 게 가장 좋은 건데 사실 뭐 이번이 처음이잖아요, 여러분들. 그래서 기대해 주시는 건 좋지만 더 그러니까 여기서 안 그치고 더 이게 성장하는 모습을 또 보여드리고 싶으니까요. 아마 많이 부족할 거예요. 근데 제가 진짜 성장해 보일게요.
내부적으로도 이제 피님들이랑 좀 이런저런 곡들도 만들어 보고 또 외부 작곡가도 만나서 만들어 보고 여러 가지 시도와 도전을 계속 해보고 있는 중이고요. 계속해서 조금 구체적으로 다가가려고 노력하고 있는 중인 것 같아요. 그래서 뭔가 그동안 뭘 하고 있었고 했는지 저도 빨리 여러분들한테 보여드리고 싶은데 제가 아무것도 안 하고 가만히 있겠습니까? 일 안 하면 이 힘든 성격을 가진 제가.
Yeah, can't stand having no work.
As you can see, Jimin is interested in making music, is really invested in its creation process, and we can definitely
and those type of people tend to fall into the alcohol a lot, and I know that's a lot of his struggles that he went through too.
Okay,
Because a lot of people that can't
stop
stop working, that's sometimes the only way you can.
But when you need to go to sleep, so you need to take the buzz up, you need to take the edge off so that you can sleep, or else you'll just keep going.
Yeah.
Because that's I was there at that one point when you and I first met.
Absolutely.
So like that's I understand.
see that everything he touches turns into gold.
Yeah.
His first EP,
Minus
Jimin
touch.
experimented with
The
different
Jimin
genres
touch.
and explored his skills. With this, he showed that he has the range as an artist to have a long and successful career. More about Jimin as the lead vocalist of BTS, and everything about and around Jimin's involvement in music in these videos.
Oh, some
The last
honors
one
now.
is
Yes, a wonderful guy. Who's Jimin?
how did you get it right?
I don't know who he is. Everybody has to know his name.
Jimin is the first and only Korean to receive 3 national honors.
First and
They are
only.
James Van Fleet Award, Presidential Award for Popular Culture, and Arts category. Both honors were received with the rest of BTS members. The third award is the Plaque of Appreciation from the Kim Bik-bong Fan Dance Preservation Society of Intangible Cultural Heritage for his Mama 2018 fan dance stage. Also with the rest of the BTS members, he now is a presidential envoy. And at the start of 2022, Jimin also received an honorary diploma from the Busan High School of Arts.
So that would have been the president. It's like, oh, that's Jimin. And she's
knows
like,
them.
you know his name?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, yeah, if you don't know him, who are you?
Look what he's doing for
He's a
Koreans' culture and just everything.
Wow.
Yeah, that's some power and popularity.
We need to
Jeez.
see that fan dance if, like,
Yeah, if it was that monumental,
exactly.
which it was.
Which
Of
it was.
2022,
Yeah.
Jimin also received an honorary diploma from the Busan High School of Arts.
Wow.
In Korea, there are a couple of official rankings stating idols or celebrities' overall impact and brand power, such as Brand Reputation Ranking, in which Jimin has a record of being number 1 for 35 consecutive months. Jimin also tends to bring up the
35?
BTS positivity ratio in the group Reputation ranking. There is also a Gallup ranking for idols. In 2018, Jimin became the first male idol to ever take first place in the Gallup ranking.
Wow.
Jimin also topped the ranking for the preferred Korean idols in 2019. Because of jealous individuals, Gallup decided to stop this particular idol ranking. Thus, Jimin became the
Another
first and
one.
last idol in history to occupy first place for 2 consecutive years.
That's
What's also crazy about that is earlier in this, he said that typically Koreans really like the female idols.
yes,
And
Blackpink. We
so
saw their
Blackpink-
all-female group.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so they prefer the female idols. So if all of a sudden Jimin shows up, taking over the ranks on the feet where female idols had been
Yeah.
typically
Dominating.
dominating,
Yeah.
of course that's going to create a lot of jealousy, especially today. So very interesting how they just, again, took away another ranking system, took away an award, took away different...
Don't want him to shine even more.
Yeah.
Armed with unique vocals, unrivaled choreography, and a performance that astonishes everyone, Jimin also serves as a fashion icon. The fashion king Jimin seems to be grabbing attention from various people and brands in fashion. In 2019, when Saint Laurent couldn't reach big hit, they contacted
Sorry, I just thought of something. You just saw my brain explode.
Yeah.
I am just watching Jimin's like photography and what he was going through there with his posing. I'm actually doing a traditional Korean inspired photo shoot for a Korean couple coming up.
Yeah.
And so like
we'll have to give you a sneak peek
we'll
on
have
the
to
Patreon.
go. We'll have to go. I'll have to go take a look at a lot of like the Jimin posing and how he does his poses to really understand how that posing can work in with my studio. So like I just thought of that watching that.
Look at the inspiration already.
Just getting inspired in different ways.
Even.
So yeah.
Contacted a Jimin fan site to ask permission to post one of his photos at their headquarters in Paris and Asia. When the news was out that BTS will be walking the LV fashion show and a teaser was released, LV Men's artistic director Virgil Abloh shared a video of Jimin from the said teaser. Input Mag mentioned Jimin's opening look, saying that Jimin, widely considered the most fashionable of the band members, opens the show in a light marbled suit and gold sunglasses. He was also mentioned by Vogue, claiming that those engraved wraparound logo shades never looked as cool as they do on Jimin. After the show, Jimin got a new nickname, LV's frontman. Jimin is the only member of BTS and the second male idol ever to be a part of Business of Fashion, where those who are global icons that shape the global fashion industry only get to be a part of. At the start of 2023, we also got Jimin's W Korea issue with a total of 6 covers, the highest the magazine has ever done. Also, W Korea magazine went out of their usual way of only selling the magazines on Korean platforms. This time, they officially released it through their Amazon and eBay profiles for international fans. And they clearly knew what they were doing. Right after the announcement, the pre-sale on every platform was sold out and all of the magazine covers were in the real-time, daily, weekly, and monthly best-selling lists. And just counting 2 Korean platforms, this one magazine issue surpassed over 1 million sales index, the first time in W Korea's 17-year-old history. Not to mention that this was a sponsored photo shoot by Dior, the same Dior that actually pitched the idea of Jimin to Business of Fashion back in 2019. I bet a lot of brands were really happy about the group's decision to finally allow the members' solo activity. That's why as soon as BTS released their plans to focus more on solo projects, Dior was the first to snatch Jimin up. Looks like Versace, Valentino, Marc Jacobs, and Givenchy were a tad bit too late. Hopefully Donatella isn't experiencing that big of a heartbreak. It's nice that she is still liking Jimin's posts on Dior's Instagram even though she isn't even following them. Dior is certainly happy. Jimin is their first Asian male
Savage! Called out. Doesn't even follow them, but follows Jimin. She's ready to snipe. She is ready.
Vulture.
Oh, I love it. Oh, I love her. Amazing.
To ever be Dior's global brand ambassador. Following the news about this partnership, Dior's stock price peaked at the highest they have ever been in Dior's entire history of 31 years of being on the stock market.
Nice.
The news about
They dropped Johnny Depp for Jimin.
Was he with Dior before?
Johnny Depp was with Dior even after the Heard Depp thing. Dior picked up Johnny Depp and then dropped him for Jimin.
Really?
I don't know if they actually dropped him but like I haven't seen anything Johnny Depp from Dior since I've seen Dior Jimin.
Right. He's taking front stage for them at least.
He's taking front stage, absolutely.
Jimin being their global ambassador also was discussed all over the financial media. Jimin was also the name on everyone's lips in this year's Paris Fashion Week. When attending Dior's show, Jimin drew in the largest crowd the Dior has ever seen and also the largest crowd that the Fashion Week as a whole has ever seen. After Jimin's appearance at this event, Dior's earned media value rose by 370%, which was twice as much as Dior's closest competitor Yves Saint Laurent. Another brand who managed to snatch Jimin up was Tiffany & Co. In March, they announced Jimin as their new global house ambassador, naming Jimin as a pop icon representing the 21st century. Not to mention that this it boy is so sought after that his one photo shoot with Dior was then used not only for the cover of W Korea, but also Da Man Indonesia, Esquire Taiwan, Elle Hong Kong and Elle Vietnam, Bazaar Men Thailand, Elle Officiel Homs Malaysia and Singapore. Not to mention Jimin's Vogue Korea covers and AERA Japan covers were also immediately the best sellers on all official sites. A fine example why Jimin stays number 1 in the brand reputation ranking. Jimin's impact continues with his power to sell out anything he is associated with. Some of the things include various magazines with Jimin's front cover, clothes, jewelry and accessories, merchandise, food and drinks, Jimin has also been a muse for various artists. One of them is a Korean artist, Lee K. He even has a highlight on his Instagram called Muse dedicated to Jimin's paintings. In 2022, Jimin's painting by Lee K was even displayed at exhibition at the Carousel du Louvre, and it attracted more than 10,000 visitors. There have also been people from the movie industry.
To think that you're making artists literally do paintings and sculptures of you, and then on the other side of your art, Jimin's voice is calming the babies around the world.
Yeah.
That's like just what a amazing human being, just to be able to do that for everyone else. And he's such an attentive person that is what he wants to do for people too. So he probably is so happy to know his voice helps kids.
I bet he is.
I'm sure he's so excited to know that he's inspiring art, even if it's about him.
Absolutely. And like the art that he's inspiring is so impactful that he even said 10,000 people came to see the art of Jimin.
Yeah, that's
not just Jimin, the art of Jimin.
Yeah.
Because every single artist is going to pull out a different emotion as they create the art of Jimin, that you're going to see different sides of Jimin even within the art created by a different person.
Yeah, you're right.
So like insane. And now they're talking about movie producers coming as well. Like, oh my God.
It doesn't end.
It never
It's
ends.
a lot to take in this
Attracted
one.
more than 10,000 visitors. There have also been people from the movie industry interested in Jimin. One of them is an American film director, producer, and photographer Gus Van Sant. In an interview, he has expressed his interest in working with Jimin, saying that Jimin is a person that has that kind of peaceful thing about them that I like. Even a famous Korean actor, Kim Kap-soo, made a Weverse fan account so he could write a message to Jimin. Writing, Jimin, do you remember me? We greeted each other at the restaurant when you were with your mother. It's embarrassing, but I'm in Army too. I registered today. Always stay healthy. Congratulations. And most
Have you heard of the Weavers?
The Weavers? No.
Just so you know, that's something that you can join in. And in case any of y'all don't know who's watching, that Weavers is something that you can join as a thing that can direct you right to the band itself, though, like he just did there. And that's why he was directing it right to Jimin, who was...
I don't know if you remember me, but
Yeah.
I saw you with your mom.
And that's what then the people in the high standards are like, am I allowed to like this? Like you can see some of that slight embarrassment, but like it's starting to become cool to like K-pop all around the world again. You can see these new things around the world becoming cool again,
It really
again
is.
or now.
It really is. And like even like I'll bring up our son again, Avery, and like how greatly he's being influenced even with the Korean culture now as well, and like learning the language even to like we keep asking him now, like, what did you learn, how much do you know, and he's still like every day getting more and more, because it's not like what Jimin is bringing and what the K-pop is bringing on a global standpoint is really influencing in such a positive way, because it's a positive music style from what we have seen compared to in North America, which has a very negative music style that is pushing forward.
There's not as much substance in it. It seems a bit more artificially made.
Our top charts, we have a diss track that was topping our charts. I don't know if it still is, but it was for a while. So
Still a good song though, Kendrick.
Yeah, it's still a good song, but still.
Yeah. Here we go.
Jimin was name dropped in relation to the new Barbie movie. Ryan Gosling, or Ken, gave Jimin a guitar as a gift because he stole one of Jimin's looks, and that is not a real Ken thing to do. Even when Jimin is out of the public eye, Hollywood still manages to mention
him. A guitar.
That's not a Ken thing to do.
Wait, what did that say? K-pop stans fighting about the It Boy title. Jimin Park paving the way. I love that. Sorry, Park Jimin paving the way.
The media also like to recognize out of the public eye. Hollywood still manages to mention him.
Sorry, we want to make sure we get everything. Korea's pride is
The media also like to refer to Jimin as a frontman. This comes from Jimin's brand power and the fact that, even if you don't know about K-pop, you probably have heard about Jimin.
혹시 그럼 좋아하는 멤버가 있어요? 개인적으로?
저요?
네. 너무 좋아하시는
I only knew Jimin after BTS.
지민?
지민? 왜 좋아하세요?
귀여운 것 같아요.
아,
지민.
지민이요.
귀 아니야?
지민이야.
지민.
지민 춤선 못 봤냐?
나 귀가 제일
아니야.
지민이요?
춤을 너무 잘 춰서 저 남자인데 반해버렸어요.
세렌디피티라는 그 곡에 동무할 때 춤이랑 노래도 잘 부르고 피땀 눈물 뮤비 첫 장면에서 노래를 딱 시작하는 그 목소리의 피자가 너무 섹시했어요. 뭔가 귀여워서. 뭔가 팬 아니어도 약간 보게 되는 그런 매력을 가지고 있어서 그냥 노래 들을 때마다 되게 좋아요.
아, 멤버 있어요?
이름을 잘 모르겠어요. 제가 아이돌에 관심이 잘 없어서.
네네네네.
아, 지민. 네.
지민
I don't know the idol names.
슈가? 지민 B.
Jimin V.
잘 모르는 것 같아요.
네,
그
지민 B.
랩몬스터.
한 명밖에 모르는 것 같아요. 지민?
중에서 누가 제일 잘생긴 것 같아요?
So it seems like V was very attractive for a lot of people too.
V is a very attractive
And he
member.
sure is. He stands out a lot too.
He sure is.
지민?
지민.
네.
지민 왜 뽑으셨나요?
아는 사람 얼굴이 그 지민밖에 없어요.
개인적으로 좋아하지는 않는데 따로 근데 그 중에서도
Don't like male idols.
지민이 좀 잘생긴 것 같아요, 너. 네, 네, 지민.
What would you say is the best thing about the country?
Jimin from K-pop.
Jimin from BTS.
BTS, sorry.
What's his name? Jimin.
Jimin from BTS.
She was like, no, I'm so sorry.
They all came dressed them for their concert.
And I work for Billboard, and they all came to our office and didn't take
Wow! He has such a great personality.
Jimin?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Jimin
for
is
sure.
like a character.
I love his style.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
여자분들이
Got to meet them. They came to
정말
the
사랑합니다.
office.
우리 지민 씨.
Very cool.
아니 정말 폭발적이에요. 그 외국 여자분들도 막
Oh,
너무
the big.
귀엽다고 난리가.
That's really cool.
Oh.
The Big Hit X trainee came up because we saw a Vice video talking about this guy because that was the guy that
That's the
video
guy
was
you're
about.
talking about that we were just.
Yeah, so let us know if
cool.
you want us to check out that video where it's about his story of about almost making it to BTS.
Yeah, that would be a cool
I think
story
that's
to
a
see.
sign that he came up here, and he's talking good about Jimin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
여자분들이 이 멤버를 정말 사랑합니다. 우리 지민 씨. 아니 정말
Explosive.
폭발적이에요. 외국 여자분들도 막 너무 귀엽다고 난리가 나는
Yes, we
멤버.
do.
실제로 봐도 그렇게 귀엽나요?
처음에 그 뭐랄까 애교살이 정말 많아요. 진짜. 그 저도 이제 제 여자친구랑 주변 인분들한테 물어보면 지금 제가 일하는 부장님이나 과장님들도 자기가 이제 가장 먼저 좋아하게 된 게 지민이라고. 지민이를 먼저 좋아하게 돼서 방탄을 좋아하고 그 다음에 이제 다른 멤버들한테도 이제 또 마음이 가는 약간 이런 루트를 다들 타고 계시더라고요.
That's not your road.
No, that wasn't my road actually. I always do it backwards.
눈 마주치고 한 거 알아봤어요. 눈 마주치고 알아봤어요. 방금. 진짜? 네. 대박이죠. 지민! 아까 그 소리가 지민이 너야? 근데 아미 여러분들은 저희 눈만 봐도 바로 알아봐요.
아니걸 나는 기사님인 줄 알았을걸?
Some examples to back up his titles can be when Global Big Data Research Institute ranked the then latest mobile models of 3 companies, and the Samsung Galaxy S20 had ranked number 1 on the survey. With the latest release in marketing effects, it was mentioned by the Institute that the advertisement with BTS Jimin also seems to have had a big impact.
Yep.
Jimin has also increased the world interest toward Taeboki after his visit.
I sold cell phones for a really long time, and I can tell you that a
Samsung
lot
exploded.
of people, Samsung exploded that year. I don't know how many people I switched from iPhone over to Samsung, but it was ridiculous.
And that's
I
probably the
didn't
catalyst
realize,
there.
I did not realize that Samsung had Jimin as their spokesperson, and now that makes a lot of sense why I had to switch so many iPhones to Samsung, and that is a headache. But
the Jimin effect
have had a big impact. Jimin has also increased the world interest toward Taeboki after his visit to a local Taeboki street stall, with sales increasing by 25% instantly. Jimin was mentioned in a report that talked about a Taeboki brand selling out and the boom of Korea's processed rice exports. The same thing happened with a ramen brand. Media reported that Jimin boosted the sales of Samyang ramen by 158% in the US and 33% in China, also proving his strong marketing power. Vice Chairman Kim Young-soo of Samyang Food has already thanked Jimin for greatly affecting the sales of spicy chicken ramen on SBS Food Talk, saying, Jimin uploaded footage of himself eating our buldak ramen, which thanks to him is seeing great commercial impact. Samyang Food also sent presents to BTS members. The message on Jimin's ribbon said, thanks to Jimin, we've built a new factory in Mulyong. Jimin was also mentioned in talk show Free 19 when discussing the worldwide spread of the Yuja tea, saying, Yuja tea became a hot topic across the world after Jimin posted about it, generating an 100% interest on Google Trends.
한국식 표기 유자라고 쓰여진 제품을 통해 인증 사진을 업로드하는 BTS 지민 씨의 소소한 일상이 유지가 아닌 유자를 유명해지게 합니다.
Honey, you can still pause.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. You wanted to say a couple of
Oh
things.
no, I feel bad about pausing because we're only like 51 minutes into
No,
the
they're
video.
here for the long run. Believe me, BTS is here
I talk so much.
all the way till the end.
But no, I used to drink that because you can get it at a superstore.
Okay.
And when Avery was little, because that's what I would buy because it was like the really cheap tea that you got, and it was great when you were sick.
Okay, nice.
So like I'd get it for when we were sick,
Healthy.
and then Avery because Avery couldn't take medicine, so he would
That's
have
a good way
that.
to get it in him.
And I don't even know if it was a placebo or not, but it helped. It helped. It helped.
업로드하는 등 BTS 지민 씨의 소소한 일상이 뮤즈가 아닌 유저를 유명해지게 하며 큰 영향력을
I've never had that.
It's good.
And not only did
Now
Jimin
I
top
want
the
it.
Billboard Hot 100 as the
marmalade,
first
but
Korean
tea.
soloist in
Ooh.
history, he also once again helped a whole industry. News reported
It's
that
yummy. I
the stock
like it.
price of the entertainment industry rose following news of BTS Jimin topping Billboard Hot 100 for the first time as a K-solo. The media reported that not only Jimin raised HYBE shares up to 23.6% that month, but his influence also had the ripple effect of other major entertainment companies. SM saw a 13.2% rise, YG 11.3%, and JYP 9.8%. The 2021 Big Data Utilization Hallyu Market Research report published by the Korean Foundation for International and Cultural Exchange also showed Jimin's It-boy impact as he was the most mentioned topic under K-pop, K-variety, and K-food. The size of the circle indicates the amount of mentions, while the connecting line shows keyword relational strength. As you can see in the K-pop image, Jimin is more often mentioned individually with K-pop, alone from his BTS status. Jimin has also been a hot topic amongst non-K-pop fans since the very beginning. If you didn't know K-pop, you probably heard about Jimin. That's why his name was on the trending topic even in 2014 when BTS were still rookies. All the commotion about
At least us never heard Jimin before. BTS was when I got to BTS, definitely I think Jimin took over me first, so it was the correct route that way, but definitely didn't know Jimin before BTS.
I had Ashley.
You sure did.
about Jimin could be best seen on Twitter. Even right from the very beginning in 2013, a lot of users were tweeting about Jimin being very popular, and that he will most definitely have a bright career. A lot of them were already then wishing for a Jimin solo song. Another thing we witnessed on Twitter was former South Korea's President Moon liking a Jimin Serendipity performance clip.
Jimin.
Every time BTS performed or attended any
Jimin
award
guy?
shows,
It's a picture of
especially in
Michael
America,
Jackson.
who is he, would always be trending, and a lot of locals would be interested to get to know more about Jimin. Some of the examples could be BTS SNL performance, BTS American Music Awards red carpet appearance, or BTS performing on America's Got Talent. Even a lot of his fan cams from concerts of him looking beautiful go viral.
All the reposts.
Korea's frontman Jimin is also the face of tourism.
Stunning.
He contributes to the economy with his influence as a world-renowned artist. Jimin is drawing attention by being used to promote tourism in Busan and Seoul. Even his birthday projects help to boost the local economy,
Me
as all
too.
of the birthday projects are usually visited by large groups of people, and businesses around the events get revitalized. We all know that Jimin's birthday celebrations in the month of October are like a big festival. A lot of local shops and cafes usually thank Jimin's fans for helping their business bloom at this time. Jimin's economic impact is also recognized by the cities themselves, allowing Jimin's dedicated fan bases to go through with projects that they wouldn't allow for others. One of Jimin's biggest celebration projects was a Jimin's themed airplane. The Jimin-themed airplane was the first Idol's collaboration with Jeju Air to run a package consisting of the entire aircraft wrapping, flight ticket, and in-flight cup set for 3 months. And it looks like that for this year's BTS Festa, one of Big Hit's projects was also inspired by this specific Jimin fan base project. We also got to find out that LV frontman Jimin was the reason that BTS became LV's ambassadors. A hint, it was because of his sold-out brand power. On BTS off time, Jimin went to Jeju Islands. After posting a couple of pictures on his new personal Instagram profile, the tourism in places where he visited flourished. He even got his own photo zone, and you could receive gift vouchers if you took photos at this zone. Jeju also jumped from 19th to 2nd place on city brand reputation in Korea, just behind Seoul. Even almost a year later, there's still a huge queue of people that want to recreate Jimin's photos, as there now is an official Jimin tour on the island.
Wow. Where Jimin took
his photos here.
That is so cool.
난 무조건 쓰지. 여기 되게 무거워. 이거 넘어가겠는데? 해봐. 아예 괜찮아. 안 넘어가. 진짜. 안 넘어가. 하나, 둘, 셋. 해봐. 하나, 둘, 셋. 어씨. 나 하나 할수 있어. 무서워. 근데 좀 무서워가지고. 배우는 누구랑 쓸 줄 알아? 내가 태어나서 한 번도 안 쳐. 몸이 동료들을 믿기 때문에 가능한 거야. 하나, 둘, 셋. 자, 힘을 좀 줘.
Nice.
Is
that what Jimin was doing for his photo?
I guess so. Oh!
Similar thing happened when Jimin posted his individual video on BTS YouTube channel where he chose to make bracelets in his free time. After the video went live, the bracelet making shop posted on Instagram thanking fans for the big interest and support, and for booking all of the available classics. Jimin's Face of K-pop and BTS streak continues, with Korean news singling out Jimin's parts when reporting about BTS concerts, press conferences, or other news about the group. Sometimes it's even a little funny how desperate they look for any Jimin content, as they edit together Jimin's fan site filmed videos and official hype footage just to show center Jimin or Jimin's parts. Other rightful titles that Jimin has earned all throughout his career are Stage Commander and Stage Genius, Dance King, Rookie's Bible, and Idol of Idols. Jimin's solo performances are called the rite of passage, as many rookie and junior idols try to cover them, and Jimin is referred to as Rookie's or Idol's Bible, as he is a great role model to them due to his personality, dance, stage presence, and other charms. Usually when covering Jimin's songs, idols do the dance and the singing part separately though, and you already know why.
우선 보컬을 먼저 볼까? 그래? 너무 높은데? 이거 진짜 너무 어렵다. 미치겠어. 야바이나 그래.
K-Media has also named Jimin as the standard of K-pop. Jimin is Korea's best idol in various ways, including his dancing skills, popularity, brand power, visuals, and singing ability. Therefore, many juniors want to follow in his steps and also become K-pop idols. For example, idols from the group TXT have mentioned Jimin as someone they take inspiration from when performing. With Fiancée, of all the performers I know, I think he's the pinnacle when it comes to that classical style of dance. What would Jimin do? Sure. How would he move his head around for this part? I practiced by painting a picture of that in my head. Huaninkai mentioned Jimin's filter performance. I was wondering how to be expressive for the performance and recently watched Jimin's filter concert performance. I got a lot of inspiration from that performance. Bongjiu praised Jimin's dancing and energy, saying, Jimin dances as if he's gonna break his bones. I want to express the same. Jay from the group EnterTheCronic said in his Weverse interview, I want to dance.
My dance teacher said that if it looks like you're hurting yourself or it feels like it's way too over-exaggerated, that's when it looks the best.
Yeah, because as the viewer, that's when you feel it the most. That's when it that's when you know they're pushing themselves past their boundaries, and that's part of what makes dancing so incredible. And then when Jimin's pushing past the boundaries of what you normally are used to seeing in those moments, that's when he's making it superstar level.
Absolutely. If you feel like you're gonna fall, use your inertia and your control to keep pushing you forward into the next one. Just keep going as big as you can. It's so fluid, and Jimin is the king. He's the dance king of that.
It's as if it's a piece of cake even when I'm using every last drop of my energy that I could collapse. When dancing K-pop choreography, my role model is Jimin of BTS. In another Weverse interview, Nikki from EnterTheCronic said, I love the way Jimin dances, so I make it a point to study him very closely. I auditioned with his song Lie, so it was a huge honor to film a TikTok with him, just the two of us. Cool. He was so kind and nice. I enjoyed every second of it. New Kids Jinkwon has said, I wanted to show a good performance, so I watched BTS performances. I watched Jimin's fancams hundreds of times all night, thinking how can I do these expressions and details. Kazuha, a professional ballerina and a member from the new Hybe girl group Le Seraphim, has mentioned that she auditioned for Hybe with the song Dynamite after seeing Jimin perform the song, which made her even more interested in performing. She has also mentioned to Teen Vogue, "I only knew ballet before, but I got interested in K-pop especially because of Jimin from BTS, because he also majored in contemporary dance."
되게 많은데요. 저는 이제 방탄소년단 선배님의 지민 선배님이 네, 제가 또 무대에 너무 진심인데 지민 선배님 무대 하시는 거 보면 진짜 충격을 받거든요. 와, 이렇게 무대를 할 수 있구나. 그래가지고 되게 닮고 싶은 부분 중 하나입니다.
I have a collaboration with BTS because I love their dance style. Especially I love Jimin's style, so I learn from them.
저는 BTS의 지민 선배님을 보고 많이 배웠던 것 같습니다.
네네.
데뷔 전부터 BTS 선배님들을 굉장히 좋아했고 또 그중에서 지민 선배님을 굉장히 좋아해서 연습생 때도 많이 영상을 보고 영감을 받고 많이 배웠던 것 같아요, 그분한테.
Wow.
I think it's really cool how much these fan cams have really motivated even like the media and all these other K-pop artists, because it's isolated a lot of these videos onto like Jimin and these other people, so you could really find out how to move like them. So I think the ARMY and all these other fan bases have done such a good job pushing the K-pop culture forward as well, where they should get their own award.
They sure have.
지민 선배님의 생일이십니다. 오늘 내 생일 언제게? 7월 9일. 7월 10일. 뭐라? 7월 10일. 7월 10일. 제 혈관 속 DNA가 말해주고 있어요. 뭐라고?
In my Venus.
제 피 속에. 내 왼쪽 속에.
In my veins.
아미의 피가 흐른다고요. 방탄소년단의 DNA.
이거 뮤비 나왔을 때
신세계였죠. 지민 선배님의 금발 말이 된다고요. 지민 선배님. 찜니 덕후 우영 씨 소문 듣고 왔어요. 나 아미예요. 질 수 없어요. 찜니에 대한 사랑. 방탄소년단 사랑에 우영 씨는 한쪽 손목에만 흐르죠. 나는 내 온몸에 아미의 피가 흐른다. 근데 저는 최근에 마마에서 제 바로 옆에 지민 선배님이 앉았습니다.
거울을 보면서 각도나 선 위주로 연습을 많이 했던 것 같습니다.
That editing was insane.
팬분들도 아시겠지만 제가 또 아미라서요. 지민 선배님을 정말 많이 좋아하고 정말 많이 카피를 하고 많이 연구를 했는데 아직 많이 부족하지만 진짜 멋있다. 나도 저런 아티스트가 되고 싶다라는 생각을 했던 것 같아요.
Wow.
In fact, you could see Jimin's impact as the Stan Attractor when YouTube allowed you to see the most played part of every video, with Jimin's parts being the majority in BTS videos. Fans went crazy when BTS finally performed their song Run BTS, and of course Jimin's dancing went viral during the concert. Then again after the dance rehearsal was released. And later when other idols were doing the Run BTS challenge, you could see which idols were studying Jimin's dancing with this Jimin-fied head whip only he did at the concert and in the rehearsal video. That's what you call a father of K-pop. Jimin is also the king of fancams. His Fake Love fancam was the first K-pop idol fancam to surpass 100 million views and a turning point for other fans to mass stream their idols' fancams. Jimin also has 2 plaques of appreciation for his dance skills. One is the previously mentioned plaque for the 2018 MMA fan dance stage, which Impact is still being talked about. And the other is the MMA 2021 Best Main Dancer Award plaque.
오늘 시상하는 부문은 페이보릿 댄스 아티스트 남자 부문입니다. 그래서 여기에 오기 전에 가수분들의 무대 영상을 찾아보고 왔는데요. 춤선이 예쁘기로 소문난 BTS 지민 씨 보이고요.
We see Jimin.
지민의 춤을 봤을 때 한마디로 이야기하자면은 자기만의 세상이 있다라고 이야기를 할 수 있겠습니다. 춤을 추면 사람이 돌변하죠. 그리고 사람을 끌어당기는 기질이 있어요. 어떤 안무를 춰도 본인의 춤으로 만들어서 지민화시켜서 춤을 추는 사람입니다. 춤에 있어서 자신의 영역이 확실한 스타일이죠. 지민만의 스타일이 딱 갖추어져 있기 때문에 어느 무대에 서던 간에 가장 돋보이는 댄서가 될 수 있을 겁니다. 지민이 추는 안무를 보시면 굉장히 섬세하고 세심하면서 파워풀하죠. 작은 디테일 하나하나를 다 살리는데 이게 본인이 막 살리려고 살리는 게 아니라 그냥 몸에 배어있는 것 같아요. 그냥 어떤 안무를 익히고 나서 그 안무를 추게 되면 자기 세상에 빠져서 어떻게 추는지도 모르고 추고 있다는 느낌입니다. 스스로가 가진 스타일을 다른 사람이 만들어낸 안무에 적절하게 집어넣을 수 있는 실력을 가진 사람입니다. 아마 지민한테 어떻게 하면 너처럼 춤을 출 수가 있어? 라고 물어본다면 지민은 가르쳐주지 못할 거라고 생각되네요. 지민이 추고 있는 춤은 누구도 흉내낼 수가 없는 지민만이 출 수 있는 춤이라는 거죠. 모조품을 만들어낼 수 없는 하나의 예술작품 같은 스타일의 춤입니다.
우와 잘 뛴다. 잘한다.
오, 진짜 가벼워.
나 저거 기타 못 돌아.
난 그냥 못해.
그럼 지금 지민님이 하시고 있는 테크닉이 사실 무용을 전공한 애들도 못하는 테크닉인데 아직 몸에 가지고 계신다, 코어를?
You still got it. So cool.
나도 못해. 근데 약간 모든 장르를 잘 하시는 느낌이에요. 지민님은 딱 무용한 거 티 나시는.
맞아.
지민님은 무용이라고 딱 가져오시면 정말 무용 같고 현역 같고 그런 느낌이 있어요.
그때 지민님이 쩌르르 춤을 추는 걸 처음 보고 와, 저 사람 뭐지? 왜 이렇게 춤을 잘 추지라고 느꼈었던 기억이 나요.
이 영상 하면 일단 지민님이다. 약간 그런 타이틀?
불타오르네.
333 춤 알아?
알죠.
3분 33초.
저 이거 진짜 많이 돌려봤어요.
와, 난 저기가 제일 좋아.
Love that dance and the camera work.
보컬의 힘이 있으면서도 또 아이돌의 춤 실력을 가지고 있고 굉장히 종잡을 수가 없어요. 다만 엄청난 분이다 그러니까 혹시 또 방탄소년단 쪽에서 누가 한번 온 건 아닌가.
네네네.
지민 씨 이런 분들이 춤을 굉장히 잘 춘다면서요.
예. BTS 멤버. 소수 의견 들어볼 텐데요.
기린님은 제가 보기엔 보통 계기가 아니고 이게 연습한다고 되는 게 아니에요.
네.
그래서 요즘 가장 춤 하면은 떠오르는 아이돌이 제가 아는 유일한 멤버 지민이라고 한 명 있어요.
춤 매력에 꼭 잘하신 것 같아요.
세 명. 태연이 태민. 태민이 춤 너무 잘 추죠. 방탄 지민이 춤 잘 추죠, 정말. 엑소 카이. 와우. 근데 셋 다 친구야. 다 잘 추죠.
I got a little emotional just now just watching because like for my particular style like not a lot of artists take a chance on me because it's so very detailed and a lot of it could say gets lost on stage in big arenas and stuff like that. I'm super appreciative that I got to do this and for someone at his level to actually execute exactly what I have in mind and do it in a way that might be even better than what I could have done. I will always be forever grateful.
His eyes do so much work. He's guiding the audience really well with where they want him to actually look or where he wants them to actually look. Beginner dancers very often just focus on how do I hit my move, how do I reach this thing in time, which makes sense. I think there's a lot of people who are versatile, but there's gimmicks. It's like I know I can pull out an aerial real quick. But no, Jimin's got contemporary experience, modern experience, hip hop, popping. You can actually see all those integrated so well. He's clever with where he's breathing. He's clever with where to relax, where to look. These are actually very intentional choices that over time start becoming second nature.
Yes, exactly. Big Hit's performance director has said that Jimin has the characteristic of expressing very smooth and textured choreography, so even when he does hip-hop choreography, he exudes a little alluring charm. In BTS book Beyond the Story, 10-year record of BTS, it is mentioned that Jimin's inspirations from their American activities had a direct influence on BTS. As he attended the performances of various artists in America, he developed bigger artistic ambitions for BTS. I kept comparing their performances to ours. I began thinking our concert staging could be better. So we began asking more from our own concerts. I kept talking about the need to go beyond where we were, to change our repertoire and improve our sets and production. To learn more about Jimin's impact in every industry, whether it's food, fashion, music, or tourism related, and to know more about Jimin's dance skills power, watch any of these other videos.
You mentioned all the time that we maybe weren't influenced or impacted by North American pop as much, but what I find really cool is that Jimin actually came to North America and then got influenced by how they were doing stuff over here and then brought that into the stage performances that they wanted to do with BTS, as we know, as the negotiator. So for me, that also says that we should just open our arms to the pop culture around the world more just in general.
I agree.
Because I bet there's, because we just checked out SB19 as well, which
yes,
is
we did.
which is P-pop as well, and that's like another amazing band. Because if you like BTS, you're gonna, I think, would like SB19 as well.
I agree.
And I wonder how much they have influenced each other too.
Absolutely, I agree. Like that would be such a cool thing to check out, if how much different pop bands around the world influence one another, and what, because we always talk about the metal family and the metal community. Like, what about the pop community or the pop family, or is it more competitive versus like community style wise?
Yeah, and we already see the community style and the Korean style.
Absolutely.
A lot of times
Emotional
after Jimin's V
intelligence,
Lives
yes.
or some of the interviews, you will see Korean fans once again being amazed by Jimin's vocabulary, his choice of words, and sincerity behind them.
오늘도 고생하셨고 내일도 힘냈으면 좋겠고 쉴 수 있을 때 푹 쉬시고 이 안에서 여러분들 행복을 꼭 찾아왔으면 좋겠습니다.
A lot of Korean fans also point out that Jimin writes his sentences in a structure that is really easy to translate for international fans. He has also been praised by experts for his speech at various events. One of them would be the annual Youth Day, where Jimin delivered his speech without any script, with elegance and sincerity. And most recent would be the speech that he presented at on General Assembly.
어쨌든 대변하는 거였기 때문에 우리 이제 미래 세대는 어떻게 보면은 팬분들한테 듣고 받은 메시지를 얘기하는 부분이었잖아요.
그래서 딱 카메라를 보고 딱 내가 명확하게 하고 싶었던 거지.
딱 그래요.
Some fans also have noticed that in interviews he will mostly give really well detailed yet at the same time generalized answers about himself. He usually doesn't tell much, even though sometimes it could feel like it. Any new information we get to know about him is mostly from people around him.
여러분들한테 보여준 거 빼고 다 못해요. 지금 하고 있는 걸 더 잘하고 싶네요.
Bad at everything except what you've seen.
Jimin's great upbringing also shows in his respectful
Very
mannerism.
smart.
Ones that fans have frequently noticed are his good boy pose with hands at his sides.
Very true.
Good boy, Paul.
Very good boy.
Or this respectful hand gesture that is used in Korean culture.
잘 볼 수 있는
Oh, to hand something.
수선 막 3번 하고 저기에는 좀 썼지. 심지어 저도 뗀 거 아니에요?
My grandparents taught that.
What's that?
My grandparents have taught that in our family, to tuck
Okay.
in your arm when you're grabbing something. So if you see my family, you might start noticing that gesture
Very proper.
slightly, but it's a more proper thing to like keep your arms out of the way to try and not
Proper and polite.
Yeah. Keep to yourself.
For sure. Very respectable guy.
다시 오겠습니다.
제가 부시고 다시
감독님.
Jimin does not only go viral for his visuals or performance, but also for his etiquette. One example is Korean
his
citizens
etiquette.
gushing about how Jimin uses elements of Korean etiquette even when he is abroad. When greeting people, you will always see him bowing.
아 예! 예! 예!
Head to the knees.
Yeah.
Welcome back
Lower the bow, the more respect.
It's okay to cut 새해 복 많이 받으세요. 새해 복 많이 받으세요. 세배를 하고 오셨어요? 할까요? 아니 어르신들한테.
For the elders at home.
When BTS performed their song DNA for the Korean President Moon and the First Lady, there's a part where
Ooh.
Jimin usually shows hearts, sweeps his hair back, or does something else fun for the audience. But this time he did a 90-degree bow, which once again allowed him to receive a big round of applause from the general Korean public.
Wow.
승경아. 고마워.
앉아 편하게 앉아.
아니 나는
Smart
이렇게 나도
switch
그
for that
지민이하고
scene.
수가가
Very
갑자기 올 줄 몰랐어요.
자, 여러분, 이 상황에서 지민 씨처럼 행동하는 게 절대로 쉬운 게 아닙니다. 왜냐하면 지민 씨가 이렇게 초대받은 손님으로서 앉으려다가 자기보다 나이가 많은 사람 때문에 엉거주춤한 자세로 있는다는 건 절대로 계산해서 나오는 행위가 아니기 때문에 그래요. 왜냐면 이런 상황들은 예측할 수 있는 게 아니기 때문에 그렇습니다. 그리고 지민 씨가 보여준 이 이전에서의 좋은 매너와 좋은 예의들을 봤을 때는 한마디로 몸에 배어서 자연스럽게 나온 행동이라는 거죠.
Jimin, as sweet and caring as ever, always expresses his sincere gratitude to the fans. One of the many sweet things is Jimin hashtagging his tweets with "Our armies won an award again" whenever BTS receives an award at an award show. He also comes on Weverse Live more frequently to update fans about what he's doing and thanking them for their love and all of the achievements his solo songs are making. Jimin also frequently likes to remind the fans to stay warm and not to catch a cold whenever the weather gets a little colder, as well as always reminding fans to stay healthy and look after your body in a healthy way.
Cold in Canada.
조심하시고 마음 조심하시고
Protect your
몸
mind and body,
조심하시고
like I said.
그렇게 있어주시면 감사하겠습니다.
like a
즐겁고
Yeah.
오늘 식사 잘 챙겨가시고 앉으셨던 분들을 오늘 봐주셔서 오늘도 감사합니다.
Look at his tiny
다음
model
주에
of
또
a
올게요.
house.
그런 거 있잖아요. 해피 바이러스.
Don't you love all of his little activities?
I do.
Says
He's
a lot about him.
so creative.
It's just so peaceful and so calming, his presence.
그런 거
The happy
해주고 싶어요.
virus.
The happy virus.
Yeah, you got that
그러니까
right.
뭔가
Peaceful virus too, though.
항상 뭔가 안 좋은 생각 너무 많이 하지 마시고 안 좋은 생각 너무 많이 하면 이게 끝도 없습니다. 저도 많이 해봤잖아요. 그래서 안 좋은 생각 많이 하면 어차피 이게 꼬리를 계속 물고 땅굴을 파게 돼요. 그러니까 생각 되게 좋은 생각 많이 하셨으면 좋겠고 제가 이렇게 한번 비추는 게 여러분들 모두에게 그럴 수는 좋은 영향이 될 수는 없을 수도 있지만 이렇게 조금이라도 힐링이 되셨으면 좋겠습니다. 여러분들한테 그러려고 오는 거니까요. 항상 행복하셨으면 좋겠고 아프지 말고
You know he's genuine.
네 힘들지 말고 항상 좋은 일만 가득하셨으면 좋겠습니다. 요즘 같은 또
Nothing but happy times.
Interesting word choice.
네 진심이고요.
Totally sincere.
아프지 말고
Don't get
밥도
sick.
잘 챙겨 드시고 여러분 요즘에 또 면역력이 안 좋으면 또
I don't eat my
그
meals.
코로나도 걸린다고 하니까 밥 잘 챙겨 먹고 항상 밥을 잘 드세요. 맛있게 잘 먹어야 돼요. 그래서 저도
So
먹으러
I'll
갈게요.
go and eat now too.
여러분 어떻게 지내셨어요?
Jimin's calling us all out. Not
Okay.
eating correctly.
뭐
Stay healthy
제가
in these times. But
얘기해놨어.
always.
뭐라고?
About those ramen noodles in the back.
건강하게 아프지 말고.
And not be sick.
He's got 4 sets of chopsticks. Or
Did he?
2 sets of chopsticks eating his noodles.
Really?
He had 2 sets of chopsticks. Look at that. Look, Seal. Look.
지내고 있으라 그랬어요.
Wow.
Scott.
You're right.
That's so
That's
cool.
interesting. I wonder if that's
He needs
more
more
commonly
noodles.
used and that just gets more in ya.
He's like, I need a bigger bite.
Just we use a bigger fork. They use multiplied the chopsticks.
He's using 4 chopsticks. I'm like, wait a second, that's talent.
That's
Look
incredible.
at that.
Good,
Man.
good eye.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I want some ramen noodles.
Young cook with the
다이어트
4
어떻게 했었냐고요?
chopsticks.
다이어트는 여러분 하지 마세요. 근데 이게 다이어트라고 얘기하면 좀 그런 것 같아요. 이게 다이어트라고 얘기하면 이미 기분이
I feel bad
나빠요.
if I call it a diet.
그쵸?
Yeah, me too.
우리 건강한
To build a
몸을
healthy body.
만들기. 건강한 몸
Body
관리라고
care.
하죠.
That should be
건강한
fine.
몸 관리는 여러분 하셔야 돼요.
Take care of your health.
근데 다이어트는 하지 마세요.
Don't go on a diet.
다음 주에 또 뵙는 걸로 해요.
So
그동안
specific.
밥도 잘 챙겨 드시고
Eat well.
여러분들도 가능하면은
Work out some too.
운동도 좀 하시고 좀 뛰고 뛰는 것보다는 좀 빠른 걸음으로 걷는 게 좋고
Walking fast is better
계단
than
오르는
running.
게 더 좋습니다. 내려가진 말고요.
Yeah. Walking upstairs
조심해서
is
또
good.
귀가하시고 귀가했다고
We
위버스
went on a nice hike
남겨주시면
today.
제가 또 읽어보도록 하겠습니다. 알겠습니다. 오늘 와주셔서 감사하고 지금까지 지민이었습니다. 괜찮아요? 핫도그 잘 먹었어요? 안 좋은 생각
They gave him a hot dog so that they could like have a good time waiting for them, and like that's big time. Like we've been at many concerts where you're just out there waiting, and like sometimes it's hours, right? So
It's
imagine if they gave
hours.
you a hot dog while you're waiting.
Man, that would have been so nice. Because when we were waiting for Epica, we were there for hours.
Mhm.
We did so many laps. I was done. My body can't handle this.
Yeah, that hot dog would
I
have
need
helped.
to get on that body care.
Absolutely, right?
Yeah. Experienced that a few times. When your mind dwells on the negative thoughts, they lead to more negative thoughts and drag you down to a vicious cycle.
Got that right.
Yeah,
Like they were
absolutely.
just saying.
When I chatted with my friends over a drink, and also did the same with BTS members. A question came to my mind. How many people are actually comfortable about bearing what is in their minds with honesty? I kind of wondered about that. Circumstances can make my life hard, but I shouldn't be the one making it hard for me. I shouldn't point the finger at myself. I came to that conclusion.
It seems that he is also a supportive shoulder to lean on for his band members and even someone to look up to for the older members.
예를 들어서 우리가 지금 함께하고 있지만 평생 같이 안 할 수도 있는 건데 그렇기 때문에 더 노력해야 되는 건데.
In an interview with Teen Vogue, RM mentioned Jimin saying, I get free life lessons from J-Hope and Jimin. Sometimes it's like they're 10 years older than me. In another interview, he has also said, many people think that Suga is like the grandfather of the group, but he acts more like a little kid. Jimin is the opposite. He looks like a baby, but inside he's mature and like a grandfather. For BTS Festa, when members left each other compliments, J-Hope wrote, You're like my little brother, but sometimes it feels as if you really are an older brother. For 7 years, I've been relying on you a lot and I've gained so much strength from you. During an interview in Japan, J-Hope has also said, Jimin likes being playful, but he also is a mature person who thinks a lot. Whenever the members gather after award shows or before activities and talk, the words Jimin says really have depth. Even though he is younger, I respect him a lot.
Member I need when relieving my stress. 스트레스 해소할 때 제일 풀고 싶을 때 필요한 멤버.
이거 약간 갈라질 수도 있어요.
네, 갈라질 수
잘
있어요.
맞을 것 같아요.
하나, 둘, 셋.
지민이죠, 지민이.
지민이
힘들었는데 정말 지민이가 오자마자 웃음꽃이 제가 거의 뭐 웃음꽃이 활짝 피었습니다. 네. 정말 큰 힘이 됐고 도움이 됐고 진짜 모르겠어요. 정말 너무너무 고맙고 이 먼 길까지 와줘가지고 이렇게 응원해주고
재밌었어. 엄청 재밌었어.
아 진짜로?
끝났어.
난 진짜
끝났어 진짜. 다른 사람들 공연 어떻게 해?
How do other singers perform? That's why he's laughing a lot.
동생이지만 형 같은 그런 매력을 가지고 있는 친구예요. 하는 것을 담을 수 있는 친구고 그리고 그 담는 그 큰 그릇만큼 뭔가 많은 것을 수용을 할 수 있는 그런 친구인 것 같습니다. 사랑스러운 친구죠. 사실 의지가 됐던 게 가장 고마웠던 점이었던 것 같아요. 저의 뭔가 큰 스트레스를 풀어주는 역할도 했었던 것 같아요. 네, 정말 그런 부분에서 고마운 점이 아닌가 싶습니다.
방탄 잘 챙겨줬습니다.
네, 그렇습니다.
데뷔 전부터 음료수도 잘 사주고,
그렇습니다.
아이스크림도 잘 쏘고,
그렇습니다.
형들 힘들 때는 잘 얘기해주고.
그렇습니다.
In his interview from BTS Fifth Army Kit, answering the question about being able to give anything to the members, he said, I'd like to give a superpower to every member, the ability of freezing time, especially Namjoon. He tends to get pressure as the leader of the team. I'd like him to just freeze time for a minute and get himself comfortable.
Aww.
Wow, he really looks out and cares for everyone.
He does. Give me 2 seconds.
The team. I'd like him to just freeze time for a minute and get himself comfortable.
Aw, look at him. To be honest, the thing that helped me let go of a lot of these worries was Jimin. He kept on joking around like he always does. And that helped me forget those things. You coming here meant a lot to me. I was really a fan today, really. You were really awesome. I even messaged you yesterday to coming out here to meet. It meant a lot to me.
Yeah. Supporting his solo stuff.
Did you put down some of your own burdens? I think I put down a lot.
손 떨지 마. 괜찮아. 잘했어.
나 진짜 멘탈 때 어떻게 하냐.
다리 떨려가지고.
Give him a joke.
Very cool. That's really cool to see these behind the scenes moments of like Jungkook being a little bit out of it, a little bit of self-doubt, whatever it may be, imposter syndrome or whatever it is that he's fighting in that day. And then being able to go to Jimin, who, like they said, is like that grandfather, but he's still that fun-loving kid who's able to be like, hey, it's all good.
Yeah, we can get through this.
We got this. No, got
out
a
of your
big
head.
smile on his face.
Absolutely.
And it's so crazy because when he's on stage, he's very sultry with the way he dances.
Yeah.
When you see him in interviews, he's kind of sheepish, a little bit.
A little reserved.
A little reserved, a little
Concise.
bit almost childish and innocent in that way, and he does like, you know, like the ollie things of hiding his face, or, you know, like getting
He's charming.
Like, he's charming. And then in these moments he's like that, he's that older brother, the grandfather, the
He's the
person you
guru.
look up to, the guru. He truly is a guru.
Yeah.
So this is really cool to see all the different sides of Jimin, not just the preconception of Jimin.
Yeah, no kidding. Like, this is Park Jimin. This is his personality, everything about him. Like, you can see him when he's just Jimin in the stage name and just like trying to be this
And then being
superstar.
Park Jimin.
But he really is just such an anchor.
He really is.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 있는데
감히 나의 오늘 솔직히
거기서 1번 걸린 사람이 먼저 이렇게 차근차근 보내 지민이 거다 마지막 지민이
아 왠지 지민이가 어부지리로 1등 할 것 같은데 아니다
지민이 1등 진짜 웃기겠다 지민이 1등 하면 진짜 대박이지
지민아 너 인증이다
일어났어
지민이가
우리 제일 뽑게 해야 돼요
48분 안 줬는데 비행기 타고 가는데 얼마
3시간 걸립니다
3시간 걸립니다
48분만 주라 예전에 하고 싶은 생 있으면 가야 해요
아니야
나 어차피
아니야 네가 고르는 거야 지민아 그 자리가 정해진 게 아니라
네가 가서 2등으로 고르면 돼 너 앉고 싶은데
그러니까 모두 보여줘 그래 내가 딴 데 불러줄게
Whatever you guys don't like.
Wow,
Did you have a nice dream?
어쨌든 너무 고마웠던 게 너무 이 그 가사 뭐 형 썼냐고 해서 이제 그 뭐 이건 내가 쓰게 됐다 그렇게 얘기를 하니까 그 지민이가 너무 이 가사가 너무 마음에 든다고 자기 얘기 같다고 너무 마음에 든다고 해서 그걸 여러 번 얘기를 해줬어요. 끝날 때까지 그 녹음하고 나서도 계속 형 나는 이 곡이 가사가 너무 좋다 그렇게 사실 얘기를 해준다는 게 되게 마음이잖아요. 정성이고 뭐 사실 뭐 요즘 남 잘 돼도 잘 된다고 박수 쳐주기 힘들고 모두가 배 아파하는 시대에 어떻게 보면 뭔가 그 자기가 마음에 드는 거에 대해서 이걸 솔직히 뭐 너무 고맙다 잘 해줬다라고 얘기하는 게 너무 큰 마음이라고 느껴져요. 요즘 지민이가 막 잘하는 친구들 그런 거 그래서 근데 어쨌든 굳이 막 이렇게 여러 번 얘기를 해주니까 지민이한테 너무 고마웠었어요.
지민이는 뭐 사실 지민이가 없었으면 이제 지금의 방탄이 분명히 없었을 거라고 생각을 하고.
If we are speaking more about Jimin's thoughtful personality, one of the things I have to mention is him being a charity fairy. Global Citizen featured BTS in 7 ways BTS inspires the world to create lasting change, mentioning Jimin as one to support everyone's right to learn. Jimin, also named Pride of Busan, has made several donations to support education in his home community, donating money and resources to help students in need of financial assistance. He makes donations quietly by himself or through his dad. Jimin is a part of the Green Noble Club for Children as a high-value donator. Most recent news that we got about Jimin was about him donating 100 million won to educational institutions, including schools and libraries, and of him donating to his hometown in Busan to a program made to promote residents' welfare, supporting the vulnerable, and protecting youth. He also has visited orphanages in his free time on his own, after promising the kids there that he will be back.
맞아요, 오빠. 너무 귀여워. 언니, 나 그 이름 처음 봤어.
우리 춤 기억 안 나지?
아, 오빠 뭐야? 제대로 들어가려서 안 춥고 해줘.
Another sweet gesture Jimin does is he often sends flowers to his alma mater in Busan. In an interview with GQ when all of his solo song achievements were mentioned, his humble personality once again shined through as he answered, "I don't think it should be taken literally. I think I'll be arrogant. I still lack a lot. I think it's correct to say I'll work harder." A journalist has said that a cheeky thing Jimin does. At the press conferences, Jimin usually would stare everyone in the eye, never breaking eye contact first, and making the reporters flustered. Also, one unique thing about his personality, contrary to him being young and somewhat on the internet, he really doesn't know that much slang that the kids these days use. And he likes phone calls over text messages. Talk about a rare gem. The Korean fans even jokingly call him a muggle or park muggle.
야, 진짜 이게 말하는 게 어려워. 저 궁금해요. 야,
쉬운 거 말고 어느 정도로 이런 것들. 다음.
조용히 봐.
사실 귀걸이 하면 되게 간단해요. 저는 심플한 것만 주로 차기 때문에 이런 거 그냥 링이나 이런 것만 차서.
지민 씨 귀걸이 되게 손민수 많이 하시더라고요. 막 되게 많이 따라서 하시고.
손민수가 도대체 누구예요?
이거를 손민수 한다라고 하는 거예요. 네, 따라 타고.
여러분 손민수 하십시오. 아니 손민수가 누군지 몰라서. 사람 이름인가 아닌가.
Japanese magazine My Mullet retracted Jimin's early footsteps in
So wait, what was this one called?
하십시오.
It was Please Son Minsu, because we said we also know the other one with RM is to Namjuning.
Namjuning.
So it's cool that they have these like things referring. So then everyone's buying things that he has kind of ambassadored, even without meaning to, because anything he just has, everyone wants.
Well, I guess I have to go back to hoop earrings then.
Please do. You look great in them.
Oh, thanks. But you don't like the ones I make? No, I'm kidding.
Just looking for something. This one.
아니 손민수가 누군지 몰라서. 사람 이름인가 아닌가.
Japanese magazine My Mullet retracted Jimin's early footsteps in Busan. One of the cafe owners where Jimin used to eat it said Jimin was good at study, especially math. He kindly supported disabled friends and was always on the class committee. In middle school, Jimin danced poppin' at the school festival with a great reception. When my friends and family got together on the way home to eat chicken, I asked him to give me his autograph, and he said shyly, I don't have a signature. I wish I had received his autograph at the time, and I regret it for the rest of my life. In an interview with the same magazine, Jimin's popping dance teacher has said he had many friends and was the type to get on well with others. He was intelligent, had leadership, and was the class president at school. There are times he would warn his friends who were being naughty, but it didn't make anyone feel unpleasant because he talks very well and politely. Whatever it is, he's the person to act first, and he'll play around when it's time to play. I've never seen him badmouth his friends, not even once. During his extracurricular dance classes in junior high school, he was very popular amongst the older girl students, so there would be many fans waiting for the lesson to end. The dance teacher also mentioned that Jimin still stays in touch with him and the school, and he thinks of Jimin as someone he can trust. Link for the interview in the subscription box. In the BTS Beyond the Story book, Jimin said, I think the most ideal kind of person is an honest person. In the past, I tended to sweat the small stuff, and I would often hesitate in speaking out even when I had something to say. I wanted people to be smiling and have them near me, which is why I would sometimes resort to exaggeration. I'd be acting like someone else, in other words. Then, from 2019, I would stay silent when I wanted to be silent, and tried speaking out against things when I didn't like them. And that's when I began to see it clearly. It's not that I didn't want to be alone, I just didn't want to be left behind. In an interview around this time with Weverse, Jimin states, I'm the kind of person who likes to be loved. Looking back, I realized I do what I do not just for the work itself, but to be loved by my friends, family, the group, and fans. Even if I don't strictly owe our fans or group members anything in return, I feel a deep and sincere appreciation for all the things they do for me. I also saw some people for who they really are, some people who don't really care about me. Rather than pushing those people away, I learned how to react less emotionally to them. Likewise, I was able to be more emotionally honest with people who are very considerate toward me. Right now, Jimin's side job is actually being an angel.
I'm not gonna lie, every single thing he just said there is words of advice that no therapist could ever tell me, and he just said it. That's all I needed to hear.
Yeah.
That really is a lot of my
it's
issues.
It's not that I wanted people to be around me and be happy, it's that I didn't want to be left behind, and that is the perfect way to explain, I think, how a lot of us feel when we're people pleasing.
Exactly.
And
we're big people pleasers, you and I.
You and I are very big people pleasers, and that's come from not wanting to be left behind. And I think that's the first time I've ever heard it explained in that way. So that really resonated with me because, nobody wants to be left behind.
And I really like what he says here. I also saw some people for who they really are. Some people who didn't really care about me, but rather than pushing those people away, I learned how to react less emotionally to them.
Which
is
perfect.
That is such a technique. And likewise, I was able to be more emotionally honest with people who are more considerate towards him.
And that's such good advice as well, because here in the West, especially in the female sphere of things, often we are told, like, if they aren't with you, then you just gotta take the garbage outside, you know, like it's that kind of a mentality out here in Canada and the United States, is you have to like cut ties, cut them out, get a saw, get a chainsaw, do what you need to do, block them, never talk to them again. Like you just have to get rid of it. And so it's actually got such negative connotations to it, and it creates so much more strife when you're acting out in that way, because it's a toxic way to act out, but it's off what's in our sphere out here. And unfortunately, that's where a lot of us think the correct mentality is. But what Jimin is saying is no, just become more emotionally mature.
Exactly.
Be able to handle it in a correct way where you're not letting them have control of your emotions or have control over you. Because if you're getting riled up and you're staying riled up, that means you're giving power to someone else.
Yep.
So like learn to react emotionally correctly around them or less emotionally to them, and be more emotionally honest with the people who are in your life, who are going to be there as your support, and being able to discern correctly who those individuals are by, like he said, stay quiet when you want to be quiet, speak out when you want to speak out, and the path will shift correctly accordingly.
Yeah, and that's even something to learn even when reacting to, when to speak, when to let the
When to
video
stop
do its own viewing, you know?
People who are very considerate toward me. Right now, Jimin's side job is actually being an angel. He also has fairies working under him.
I want to be a fairy.
죄송해요. 요정은 제 하위
Fairies are my
직급입니다. 저는
servants.
천사거든요.
Because I'm an angel.
요정은 제가 부리는 사람들이고 저는 천사고. 제가 사실
genuine
천사인데
about
자꾸
that.
이런 요정 같은 모습들을 보여서 미안합니다.
지민아, 혹시 천사라는 직업은 어때?
이게 또 일할 때 좀 힘들긴
Hard
해요.
work. 아, 너가 천사야?
전
I am
천사지.
an
이제 제가
angel. I'm a leader
요정을
of the
부리는
fairies.
쪽이었고
아.
직급이 좀
My
높았어요.
position is higher than
약간
theirs.
팀장 그
As
정도
team
생각해요.
leader.
날개 어딨어?
네?
I love
날개
it.
어딨어?
그러니까 이제 뭐 밑에 내려왔을 때
went down.
타락 천사예요?
It's a fallen angel.
야,
이렇게
떨어졌구나
되네.
거기서.
천사부터 안 끼는.
I like this. Angels don't fart.
이제 내가 천사 직급이었어가지고.
다른 요정들이
Poor
질투해서
noodles.
천국에서 쫓겨났다는 게
I did too.
사실인가요? 추락한 건가요? 자발적으로 내려온 건가요? 대답해 주세요.
Did you get kicked out of heaven or fall voluntarily?
추락이에요. 자발적이에요? 뭐예요?
저는 프리다이빙으로
자발적이네.
예, 자발적으로
예.
예, 떨어졌습니다.
Jump.
네.
김하은님이
Wow, who can play? What do you want to say, honey?
Did it hurt when you fell from heaven?
Yeah, we had you. Because they're all screaming, basically saying what you just said there. Nice.
Oh, nice.
Nice. You gotta give the credit to the band.
Give the credit to the band.
Security. He's like, yeah, man.
Yeah. Love that.
Every staff member falls in love.
아니면 한쪽 다리 펴봐.
그런 것도 움직이는
높이 내려봐봐. 이만큼 펴주세요. 네.
Like, what are you doing?
꽂히게요.
에피소드나 그런 게 있을까요?
처음 받으시는 분들이 계셨는데
네.
긴장하셨는데 이제 지민님께서 계속 이제 괜찮아 이거 5분이면 끝나 이러면서 이제 그렇게
다독여 주셨구나.
네, 다독여 주셔가지고 행동도 더 조심하게 되고 그리고
You need Jimin while you're doing your
사실
tattoo removal.
지민님하고 이 문제로 되게 얘기를 엄청 오래 했었어요. 다독여 주시고 되게 좋은 얘기 많이 해주셨거든요. 그래서 저도 그 얘기를 듣고 나니까 좀
That's what he makes you want to do.
앞으로 더 좀 잘 살자.
Makes you want to be.
나 같은 보통 멤버 지민이가 여자 같죠? 지민이에 대한 애교가 많아.
Sorry.
나 같은 보통 멤버 지민이가 여자 같죠? 지민이에 대한 애교가 많아요. 뭐 수고하신다 그러고 뭐 이렇게 어깨도 주물러주고 그랬죠.
이제 귀엽고 이제 조용조용한 성격인 줄 알았는데 지내다 보니까 얘도 되게 활발하더라고요. 장난도 많이 치고. 네. 아 근데 성격이 진짜 좋았어요. 착하고 그래가지고 뭐 학교에 그냥 금방 적응하더라고요. 애들도 지민이 많이 좋아하고. 아 맞다. 막 학교에서 이제 보통 체력 검사 이제 체력장 같은 거 하잖아요. 이제 전 그때 지민이가 얼굴도 하얗고 이제 귀엽게 생겨가지고 운동은 잘 안 할 줄 알았는데 얼굴만 애기지 진짜 몸은 또 그때부터 몸 되게 좋았어요. 운동도 되게 잘하더라고요. 거기 학교 이제 예고였거든요. 예고 친구들은 이제 운동을 잘 안 하더라고요. 근데 지민이랑 저는 이제 운동하는 거 좋아해가지고 둘이 계속 같이 다니면서 계속 기록 내기 했어요. 막 팔굽혀펴기, 막 멀리 뛰기 이런 기록 내기 했었어요. 이제 이번에 제가 넘고 나갔을 때 사진으로 응원해준 게 아직까지도 너무 고마운 것 같아요.
네, 형이 너무 좋아요.
저 이런 자기적인 거 되게 싫어하거든요. 아니 근데 물론 저희가 아이돌이지만
근데 사실 지금도 저를 딱 봤을 땐 크기가 나쁘진 않죠.
You never walk alone.
여성분들이 입었을 때는요. 이 정도가 적당해요? 아니면 좀 더 큰 게? 좀 더 긴 거야? 오케이, 그럼 됐어. 4.5에서 5.
4.5에서 5로 할까요?
여러분들이 입었을 때 기분 좋은 거야.
Remember, you're enough. Love yourself.
More about Jimin's personality and high emotional intelligence in this introduction video. Contrary to his quite serious, wise, and mature personality, Jimin also knows how to entertain a crowd, on stage or off stage.
It's like, no, stop.
No. Oh, just kidding.
Yes. Oh, look at that!
It's too much for me.
You can see this more in the official BTS content. Jimin seems to toss any competitiveness that he has aside and just has a fun time, entertaining the viewers and not taking himself too seriously.
Look at that straight face!
보셨습니까, 여러분?
Did you see
사람은 하면 끝까지 하면은 안 될 것입니다. 오늘의 교훈 하면
Today's
된다.
lesson. Just do it.
이상 지민이었습니다. 수고하셨습니다.
This is Jimin, thank you.
I want to go home.
기다리고.
제가 이게 바로 센스.
아까 지민이가 진짜 래
Look at those overalls.
오늘 지민.
Also, as much as BTS say Jimin is the most thoughtful and serious, they also say that he is one of the funniest members. He seems to have perfect comedic timing. He's quick with the sass, reads the room, and lightens up everyone's mood.
타인의 성장을 도모하고 협동하는 사람.
아 근데 내가 본 지민이는 되게 개인 발전에 되게 능숙한 사람인데.
그런 척하면서 당신들을 내가 키웠다는 생각 안 해봤지. 오지 마.
야 내가 볼 때 이 표정 저녁 때만 나오는 것 같다. 오늘 지금 아니 아까는 안 나왔거든.
seen that face all day until now.
그래서 지금 발동하기
that night.
전에 몸무게 재고 오늘 아침에 공연하고 1.5kg 빠졌어.
아 진짜?
나 1.5kg 빠졌어.
공연 얘기인 줄 알았는데.
1.5 kilograms just doing the show.
그랬습니다. 씨 막.
Man.
진짜 아니야. 아우 씨막 그래 저 내가 들어도 좀 욕 같았어 이거. 절대 아니에요 여러분. 막 다 보실 수 있을까? 왜냐면 또 신경 쓰이는데 기사하는 거 아니야. 지금 욕 생방 중에 욕 팬들에게 욕 막 이런 거.
얘는 욕. 야야야야. 왜? 왜?
저는요 이 가방에서 뭐가 나오는지 알아요? 이게 나올 거예요. 여러분 저는
Frank Chinese prepared a heart event for armies.
Amazing.
제 엉덩이에 힘을 넣어드릴게요.
들어온다.
Plus Max.
Room.
She's like, no. Oh, J-Hope loves him.
Yeah, he does.
혹시 많이 힘든 건 아니지? 모든 게 엉망이 되고 있는 것 같은 지금 이 시간에 잠깐만 틱틱 소리 많이 나거든. 네? 약진 아닌지.
고생 너무 많았어요. 아, 좀 한게 없어. 아, 뭐 씨, 특히 고생할 거야. 저도 뭐 저도 한게 없어요.
한게 없어요? 저는 아직
Still wondering.
최대. 제 그렇게 해.
Jungkook smile.
쪽으로 모자를 던지려고 하거든요. 네? 못 던지면 괜찮아요.
But if you throw it on us,
제 말을 생략할게요.
I won't say more. It's Jimin's world.
That's cute, Freddie. While you gotta work. God, that looks difficult.
Found someone. Haha.
Exactly.
항상 지민이가 웃게 해주지만 2021년은
You got that right.
은근히 진영이 저를 웃겨줬다고 생각합니다. 이거는 찐이라니까. 아니 지민이 2013년 때부터 쭉 야 되게 당신
2013.
감동되겠어? 나 당신한테 이제 웃어 안 준다. 갖고 와. 보러
He's
갖고
already
와.
laughing more.
야.
Wow.
In the end, this naturally
I want to
gifted
say just thank you everyone for making it this far. As you can see, we're right at the very end here, and I didn't think we were that close to it, but I really do appreciate it, y'all.
and talented man just wants to be on stage and perform in front of the crowd.
춤을 출 때는
He's in
다른
heaven.
생각이 안 나서 그냥 다른 세상에 온 것 같아서 너무 좋았다 이런 얘기를 했는데 여러분들이랑 같이 하는 이 시간도 비슷한 것 같아요. 되게 다른 세상에 온 것 같아서 항상 너무 되게 행복했었던 것 같아요.
This love for
Yeah, they're
stage
glowing
reflects in an
there.
answer he
They
gave in a
are.
reverse interview. I don't consider my main profession, performing and singing, as going to work. But when I'm doing something else with the camera right in front of me, that feels like work.
Right.
Singing and
Yeah.
performing for our fans isn't work. It's something I really, really want to do.
That's
The
impressive.
interviews and the things like that that are
내 세상.
In a GQ interview, he said, "Yes, the phrase dance is a world of my own is exactly right. I realized whenever I'm
Yeah.
dancing, I feel happy and free, unburdened by any thoughts. Dance has the power to make me feel that way." Jimin, as a solo artist, is now just starting to show us his different colors. When asked if there are any filters he hasn't shown yet, he answered, "Yes, there
Good
are
question.
many. If you look at the color of the filters I've shown you, it's only red, blue, and yellow. I think I showed you about half of it. I still have a lot to show
Well,
you."
that's
In
exciting.
an interview with Vogue Korea, when asked about being talented at everything, Jimin answered, "As a pop artist, I want to excel at both dancing and singing. I also want to perform a diverse range of musical genres and themes instead of sticking to just one type. I want to
Very
show
well
my
said.
fans only the best, but I also have to take a healthy, sustainable approach."
Yeah.
Jimin has always been exemplary. From his younger school years till now, he has always been someone you can look up to and learn from. Are you ready to explore more of his artistry?
만들어 갈 수 있다.
More Jimin videos and articles in the description box.
This is the place to go, is this channel. If you want some more
Yeah.
Jimin, that was very, very well done. Very extensive. I think
Very well
every
done.
angle of Jimin was approached there, and way more vast than you would ever think. And the triple threat of being one of the best dancers in the world, being able to hit those falsettos and those high notes, unlike many people that we can see today. But then also just
And the growls.
his yeah, and those low tones too. But it's also just the way he can be an ambassador for anything. I think is his truest power.
Absolutely.
Like you're saying, and just being with BTS, I think he really has brought them to the stratosphere. He does a lot for this band, and we definitely want to start isolating some of these band members more often moving forward too. So we've done a lot of the documentaries for Jimin now, as y'all seen. So we're definitely going to move forward, and maybe you can let us know in the comments below which way we should move forward. But since this has already been a very long video, I think we're going to wrap this one up very quickly,
Absolutely.
y'all. So thank you so much for spending time with us. Definitely go check out our Patreon. If you're watching on YouTube as well, we thank you so much. But if you want to see all the content a day earlier, all you got to do is join us there. We got a free trial there. We're having a lot of fun, a lot of growth there, and we really appreciate all the support too. And I have to say, even though I was a big Jimin fan coming into this already, I think Alana fell in love even more with Jimin,
I
specifically
definitely
in this
have a
one.
greater appreciation for Jimin and everything that he brings to BTS. Now that I can see a lot more of the role that he plays and also who he is as an individual and that passion that he has, because I greatly admire people. I greatly admire men who are very passionate, who have a lot of goals and strive to achieve those goals in a correct way where they like it's attainable and it's measurable, and that's something that Jimin has really done in everything that he's done in his life. And then being able to see it fully in this documentary where it's like, no, Jimin's whole motto it's not just do it, it's I did it.
Absolutely.
Right?
He's living proof of putting in the hard work.
He's
and it will
living
come in.
proof of putting your actions where your words are.
With humility.
With humility, because like even I can say, oh, I should get on, like the taking care of my body thing that he's talking about, but it's putting that action to it, and that takes the willpower that a lot of us neglect. Not even that we don't have it, it's just that we neglect it. And Jimin is a walking example that it's a choice whether you're going to neglect it or not, and and to strive forward. So I've really gained a huge admiration for Jimin after watching this 3-hour video.
You got that right. 3-hour video for y'all, at least.
Yeah, it was only
an hour 40.
It was an hour and 40, but we took breaks.
But we really appreciate it again. And if you want more long content, some Jimin content, some BTS content, K-pop content, you're at the right place. Again, thank you so much. Hit that subscribe button if you are new, because we really appreciate that too. Hit the like button because it really helps. And share this to some of your friends if they have not seen EnterTheCronic's journey with BTS and Jimin and all the good stuff, folks. We are now exiting the rabbit hole.
Thank you so much, Army, for being here with us. This was such a treat. We also have a Discord if you would like to join. And if you have any ideas for any photography poses, let me know as well. So thank you all for being here with us. Peace and love.
God bless y'all.
Take care and bye for now.